Alrighty, let's get started now. I'll explain everything. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Mysterious creatures known as Pokemon live in all sorts of places. Both out in nature, here are cities. Pokemon truly are everywhere. Pokemon love to compete with each other and battle alongside people. And this is where the best come to battle. The battle arena in the city of Frontier. In this arena, Pokemon trainers face each other and... I cannot read, give me a second. I look away for 2 seconds, game. Anyway, I'm just gonna skip over to read there. Y'all should be able to read that. Did have to set things up on my end, and Halo should be joining me at some point. We're getting her set up still, so I took a little bit longer than I normally would have. But I decided what I'm gonna do for right now is I'm just gonna get my character made and whatnot there. Anything beyond that is completely new now. I've seen the tutorial a little bit, but it's kind of about it. Alright, I got the basic thing there. You can say hello if you want, Halo. I'm gonna put the little thing for you up as well.
Hello.
But yeah, I'm just doing the quick, I gotta do some of the tutorial, but you can see I got my character made and everything. I know, he's beautiful. You have certain hair options. I did get more customization options in the future, but... Well. You must be happy. Got a little Ampharos on. You got number 181, Ampharos. Name's Cordy. I run this here personal gym. Fine place, wouldn't you say? I've trained a whole lot of Pokemon here, that's for sure. There's like Hariyama and Emboar. You got some Hitmons. You got Blaziken, Poliwrath. Is that Deerling in the background? Got Datanate right there. Yeah, this is the part where I get to say on stream. I've played Pokemon for like 15 years roughly. Well, watched/played it. Actively played it's closer to about 10. But watched is like 15. Actually, no, it's probably more than 10. I was gonna say it's definitely more than 10. Either way, I've been playing Pokemon for a massive chunk of my life. I can't promise I'm the best person to teach you or to do anything with, especially because I'm a little bit rusty. But I've done my fair share of competitive type stuff. If breeding was in this game, I'd teach you how to do some breeding stuff, but it's mostly just battle simulator at the end of the day. Young as I used to, I've been hunting for a young go-getter who could take over the gym for me. Words to be about you, I thought, well, this might just be the person for the job. I sure am glad you agreed to come. But I'll need to test your talent before I go leave my darling gym in your hands. Most importantly, I'll train Chops up to the task. I got Whimsicott right there. So interestingly, despite this being a gym, we actually don't have a type specialty that we're bound to. We don't have to go monotype. We can use whatever Pokemon we want, provided they're in the game. Which is actually really nice. I already know a lot about the type chart one there, but and once I get to the basic tutorial, I'll actually start properly as we go through the basic tutorial. I'll start going through things, and I'll be showing some resources after we get to the basic tutorial as well, because there are some stuff that they don't really explain super well. Like for example, during the basic tutorial, they'll have us pick an attack, and the only thing they give you is, oh, it's super effective. But they don't explain some of the other stuff there. You don't explain why you're picking that attack over one of the other ones that's the same type, or certain other aspects. So it's a lot of groundwork, and I don't want anyone that's getting into this to have to get the DVD treatment of have fun spending 3 years working on this just to understand the basics.
DVD treatment sucks, man.
Oh, I feel you on that one. Hey, wait, forget somebody? Oh yeah, you got his granddaughter. You must be the new kid that Grandpa's been talking about. It's nice to meet you. I'm Tatara. I manage the front desk here at the gym. Halo, if you were up to this point, I'd have you do the voice, but unfortunately, you're not. Hey.
No, I am not.
Oh yeah, you get the Rotom too. Sorry for the scare. This is Rodeo, a Rotom that lives inside a headset. can tell you all sorts of useful information during battles. Seriously, Rhodey's a big help for anyone who spends a lot of time on the court. Ain't that right, Rhodey? So one of the big things that this game does is that it actually tells you your matchups, and it will even show you the... Normally the game doesn't show you anything beyond, you know, super effective, not very effective in some cases. It doesn't tell you about, like, quad resists, or immunities, or anything like that, or, quad super effective hits. And the game will actually show you that. So they have it categorized as extremely effective rather than just super effective. So we got all moves. As if we'll get into this more, but basically there's going to be 6 categories. There's going to be ineffective, mostly ineffective, not very effective, neutral, super effective, and extremely effective. Which is a very nice touch that they've done to help get people into that haven't gotten into the series as much. Again, for me, this doesn't really matter. I've got most of the Pokemon types memorized, outside of 1 or 2 exceptions for some of the newer ones. But... And then we'll get into items at some point, too. Halo, for you, and for the purposes of this stream, we're not going to get into too complex items. I'm not... And certain things there, like, I'm not going to get into the whole thing of, like, damage analog and using life orb and what Pokemon to use it on, or choice scarf and when to bring that out because of terms of speed and the 50% booster. That's a whole smorgasbord, because at the end of the day Pokemon boils down to 3 things: knowledge, probability, and mathematics. Mathematics is the hard part. We want to try and reduce that as much as possible, and luckily you can supplement a lot of the mathematics out by basic knowledge and some level of probability. But again, we'll get to that when we get to that point. Believe you me, Rhodey, there's a keeper. Trainer couldn't ask for a better ally. Now, how about we get to that battle? Gym courts through here. Come on. You got a little Ampharos Mega Tail. Which they don't have, I will say right now, they don't have any of the other gimmicks available outside of Mega Evolutions. We will cover that today, because that's going to be a very big essential for team building. Because a Mega Pokemon should generally be slotted in somewhere in your team as an option. You don't have to use a Mega Pokemon. There are plenty of really good Pokemon without them. But you should at least be carrying one Pokemon that has a Mega, and there's like 50 plus options reasonably out of your decks, and out of the 230 Pokemon I believe that are now in the game. Well, not all the Megas are in the game yet. There is still a decent amount. I do believe there's, I think there's over 20 of them in the game presently. And luckily you don't have to worry about stuff like Legendaries or Mythicals coming into the game yet, either. So that at least helps to clear up a lot of shenaniganry, so you're never going to be put into a scenario where you're being power crept out because you got a mythical Pokemon and someone else didn't, or vice versa. Like, let's say that Marshadow's super... You know, Marshadow's a mythical Pokemon. Not everyone's going to have access to it, because you either had to get it through ZA, or you had to get it through an event all the way back in, like, 2016, 2018. The reason I know that one is because I have one. But you can't bring it over, because it's a mythical. Which is good, because it's got some really good stuff on it. Good typing, was unique typing for a while. Really good attack, and pretty decent stats. That's what generally a lot of Legendaries and Mythicals tend to have as well. But I digress. Alright, let's start speeding through this. I know we got the dialogue there, I'm just going to speed through it. Because he's basically saying he's given us his Pokemon. We're going over to the battle. He's got a team of 6. He's got the he's got the Kanto starters and the Johto starters, so... I think it was anyway, or no, not all the... No, I think he's got Pidgeot as well. He's got some good Pokemon, let's put it like that. He's got some starter Pokemon, and I think Pidgeot. So we toss out Venusaur. And we start it with Charizard. And this is one of the things I was talking about, so you can see select attack, fight. So you have your fight, you have your Pokemon. Normally there'd be items in Flee, but this isn't a regular Pokemon game where you have those options. You can't use items during trainer battles, and you can't... I mean, you can forfeit, but there's your option right there. So as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. You got Flamethrower and Fire Punch. Those Body Slam and Fly for Charizard. Now you're going to be using Body Slam right here. You can see it's effective. so it's neutral. But you can see the other attacks are all super effective. These two are physical, this one's special. The game doesn't really explain during this tutorial, so it'll be up to me to explain. And also, one of these things is that Charizard is not very good if you were actually trying to make a proper one. You can see mostly ineffective quad resist from the energy ball. So yeah, we're just trying to beat up Venusaur. Now it's telling us to use Flamethrower because that's a super effective attack against Venusaur. As you can see, he goes drops. Now he sends out Blastoise, so we're basically the same position Venusaur was, where Blastoise is not a Pokemon that you want to be in against, because, at least in most cases, there's some cases where you'd be fine, like if this was a Mega Charizard, but we'll get to that later. So you can see his entire team right here of what Pokemon he'd have. So Gen 1, Gen 2. So we had, of our team, we had Charizard, Meganium, Pidgeot, Gyarados, Jolteon, and Machamp. And you'll see in this team as well, we only picked 3 Pokemon. Single battles are going to be 3-on-3. Double battles will be 4-on-4. You can see on his team, you can see what Pokemon he has. This one's highlighted because it's been confirmed that he has it, and this one's been knocked out. So we know 2 of his 3 Pokemon. That means his last Pokemon could be any of these 4. So we don't know which one it is because he's not sent it out yet. You can see he's using Hydro Pump. Since we're Grass type, we resist that. There are a couple immediate triangles that come to mind for typings. Fire, Grass, Water's one. Rock, Flying, and Fighting's another one that comes to mind. And while this one isn't a triangle, there's also a lot of coverage in the trio of Fire, Ice, and Electric. Though again, only one of those actually has a type matchup with the other, and that's that Fire's super effective against Ice. But a lot of Pokemon tend to get stuff like Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, especially a lot of normal types get them together, so it is stuff to just keep in consideration. It's a pseudo-triangle. I'm not necessarily new, I just haven't started. The mobile version just dropped. I've been playing for a long time. So we're going through and I'm trying to do some stuff and also explain it a little bit, especially since I do have a friend with me that is new. Speaking of Halo, did you manage to get... Oh, you can see it's looking for Megahorn. Did you manage to get your Nintendo account linked to the thing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And my character's created. I'm going through the intro stuff now.
Nice. I was like, I'm surprised for this they don't have you pick Air Slash, because Hurricane has a 70% accuracy. Which doesn't sound that bad, but then you realize that there's a 30% chance to whiff. Unfortunately, they don't really go into the ability range or anything like that too, but eh. We'll get into the... Let's get this all done. Also, we'll get to pick a starter Pokemon soon too. Well, a starter in loose quotes. Loose quotes there, because we're gonna get, I think, like, what, 6 or 10 options? I think it's like 10 options, and all of them are gonna have pre-built teams. Huh, not half bad, kid. In fact, top marks. I've been battling for a good 55 years, and I can tell you've got fantastic instincts. You pulled off a fine battle with my team. Don't forget about little old me. Seeing your opponent's weak spots was handy, right? I mean, I already know that one wrote him, but thanks. That'll show me all I need to see. Now I know my hunch about you is correct. Gym's all yours from now on. Do with it as you please. Well, for real, that was fast. Well, that's Grandpa for you. Always going with his gut while the rest of us catch up. Don't hold him against him or anything, okay? Ah, you got me there. Wanna know something else my gut's telling me? So it takes. Join the ranks of our Pokemon champions. Sure, man. I'll provide any support you need, so just battle your heart out knowing I've got your back. What'd he say? Looking forward to working with you. Right, time to recruit some Pokemon, I think. We're shipping out. Come on. Ooh, this is the part we get introduced to the ranch. Hey there, Kit. How are things? So the one thing to note is that this is sort of a mobile game where like you'll get a free Pokemon every 22 hours. Then there's the whole thing with the rental and turning it permanent, but you get tickets for that, and that's a whole mess in and of itself. Well, hey Cordy, howdy do. Got a whole bunch of darling Pokemon right here and ready to go, just like always. And Pokemon aren't the only ones. Glad you seem chirpy as yourself. I can word properly. Let me introduce you to someone, Kit. This here's Happy. Pleasure to meet you, Happy. Kit's the name. I'm the face of the roster ranch, and I'm dang proud of it. This ranch right here is where Pokemon breeders raise all sorts of Pokemon with love and care. And Pokemon trainers drop on by to recruit them. Ain't this place just the best? Speaking of, let me take a stab at why you're here. You're the new gym manager Corey's been searching high and low for, ain't you? Yep, that's correct, ma'am. Thought so. Well, if you got Corey's seal approval, you must surely be something. These darling Pokemon would love to battle beside a trainer like you. So don't be shy about recruiting them. You see a bunch of them. You think you tell Abby about how we're doing that, Kit? Sure thing. Old Kit will explain everything. Don't you sweat. Since this will be your first time recruiting a Pokemon from us, it's on the house. Now let's take a look, see at who's ready for us then. This way. So you'll get to see one Pokemon for the teams, I should mention. Normally, when you're doing that in the future, Halo, you'll be seeing all the Pokemon you'll be able to recruit, and you'll pick one of them. In this case, you'll pick the Pokemon you want as the basis for your team, and then you'll get 5 other Pokemon with items and moves and whatnot automatically tossed in for permanent recruitment. Here we go, yeah. A lot of Pokemon you can meet your tutorials fix and will not change. So I'll go through the list. I would recommend, if you have the ability to look at stream in a moment, I would highly recommend looking at that. So that way you have a moment to actually see as well. And this is where I can start talking about abilities and certain other things that are going to be necessary.
Okay.
So let me know you're on. See, we got Charizard right here. We got Tyranitar. So I do love the fact they actually show the abilities and they actually show the stat alignment. Well, it says stat alignment. That's nature for the Pokemon, but probably easy enough to just say stat alignment. You can actually see the EVs. Luckily, all these Pokemon come with EVs already slapped into them. So it is interesting they put it at 32 cap as opposed to 252, but to be fair, 32 is just a much easier number to work with. So that does make some sense too. So yeah, we got. Yeah, that's 10 Pokemon. So, just like you'll be getting in the tutorial, there's Charizard available. He's gonna get Blaze as opposed to Solar Power. That one's not really a noteworthy ability. Blaze, Torrent, and I was gonna say, so you get a couple other ones that are there, but you got Swarm, Blaze, Torrent, and Overgrow. Give you 50% extra power whenever your Pokemon is down to a third or lower of its HP. So he essentially gets powered up in a pinch. As you can see, Fire type moves get boosted by 50% in this case. Swarm's Bug, Torrent's Water, Overgrow's Grass. Tyranitar, you got Sandstream. This will pick up a Sandstorm whenever the Pokemon comes out for 5 turns. Sandstream as well is going to be useful for Tyranitar specifically because it's a Rock type. I should note that Weathers, since this is going to be pertaining because Sandstream is pulling up Sandstorm, Weathers have type interactions in a sense. Sandstorm, for instance, does damage to any Pokemon that's not Rock, Ground, or Steel, while it also boosts the special defense of any Rock-type Pokemon. So Tyranitar effectively is dealing with a 180 base special defense when a Sandstorm's up. Because it's the 50% bonus. I think it's 50%, I thought it was 30%. Well, I believe it's 50. Because plus 1. Then you have Sun, which is 50% power to fire moves, 50% water power reduction, changes how certain attacks work, like Weather Ball gets turned into a fire type move, Solar Beam, Solar Blade get powered up and like immediately charge, etc, etc. Rain, unfortunately we don't have any Pokemon that have Rain here, but Rain is in a similar stream to Sun. Basically inverse Sun. Powers up water attacks, weakens fire, and it also, there's a couple attacks that get powered up under there, like Electro Shot, for instance, on Archaludon. basically it's instantly powered up in Rain. It also means that certain moves like Hurricane and Thunder will always hit. So they bypass accuracy check. Lastly, out of the ones that are available, Snow. It used to be Hail, but it's Snow now. Ice-type Pokemon get a defense boost of 50%, similar to Sandstorm for rock types in their special defense, but it's physical for them. And it means that certain other attacks will also, namely Blizzard, will bypass the boost from there. So we have Armor Rouge, then Weak Armor. This one's kind of just, as you say, you can see we got a whole bunch of different attacks. We'll get to some of them on what I would personally pick. But we should go over the abilities, a couple of them, because there's different abilities that are getting in there. So we have the stat boosting ones, we have the weather setting. Weak Armor is an ability that's a stat-based ability. I'm going to categorize a group of abilities in this for context as stat abilities. These are going to be stuff like Moody, Weak Armor, you know, ones they're going to, Defiant, technically Intimidate. These are going to generally raise or lower stats of yourself or opposing Pokemon under conditions. Weak Armor's condition is that if you take I believe it's a physical hit specifically, yeah, physical move, you lose 1 defense and you get 2 stages of speed. So your defense would drop by -1 and your speed would go up by +2. Every stat can go up to a +6 or a -6. There's a whole stat table. Basically, something to note is that it's not linear. Actually, it technically is linear, but it's not linear in the sense of like 100% each. So a +6 is a 4 times multiplier. You get 50% boost. Whereas I believe, I don't remember the exact numbers for cuts, but it's basically halving it, essentially. So basically it turns from 2/1, 3/1, 4/1, etc. type of thing, to like a 1 out of 2, 1 out of 4, etc. Well, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4. So in this case, you would get faster, but you'd be more physically frail. Palafin, he's got a gimmick ability. These are going to be abilities on, like, well, gimmick and transformation abilities. I'm classified as a gimmick. His ability is that you have to switch him out. He's very weak starting out, but you switch him back out, you switch him back in, and then he'll change form to be much, much stronger. There's a bunch of other abilities that are similar. Stuff like, for example, Aegislash has stance change. If we see Aegislash, I'll get into that, but there's some of them like stance change, for instance, that change how a Pokemon's form is there, similar to Zero to Hero, or stuff like Zoroark having Illusion, where it can disguise itself as a Pokemon. These are all gimmick abilities. They generally are not there to do anything crazy. They just change how the Pokemon functions, in a sense. So, similar to how this sets up Sand, or this one gets powered up when he's low. Once it takes a physical hit and gets faster, losing defense. This one doesn't have any of that. Its whole thing is just it changes forms. Okay, we got Pikachu here. I'm assuming Pikachu's probably holding a light ball in this instance, because I know that's a Pokemon item that's unique to Pikachu. Pikachu has Static as its ability. Now, there are certain contact-based abilities. This is where we get into contact abilities. Pikachu has Static. There are ones... So there's Poison Point, Flame Body, and Static. There's no one for Freezing. I think there's Stench. Well, I was going to say, that's not necessarily Stench, but Stench is more for the opposite, where you're physically hitting the Pokemon. But I guess this contact ability focus. There's also some like Poison Touch by that extent. But contact-based abilities, in this case, the ones I'm talking about, so like Rough Skin, Static, Flame Body, Poison Point. You Iron Barbs. You make contact using a move, so in this case Pikachu's Quick Attack, for instance, would be a contact move, whereas it's Grass, not weirdly enough. As you can see, it's marked as a contact move. That's priority, we'll get to priority later. You can see there's just damage. So, let's say that Pikachu is hitting... Now, we can't say another Pikachu because Static wouldn't proc. Pokemon are generally immune to the status of their own type, so Pikachu can't be paralyzed, it's Electric type. Fire types like Charizard or Armourouge can't be burned, etc., etc. Ice types can't be frozen. So you have that. I don't know, I've seen a couple of the teams. I don't know if Palafen's necessarily the best. Again, I don't think it's got... I was gonna say, because you're picking your Pokemon there. Now, there's the whole thing of what your team is. I don't know the exacts. I've seen Charizard and Tyrantars. I know they're both really good candidates, especially because they have Mega Forms. I don't know what Pokemon Palafen unfortunately has. If I knew what all the teams were, I could probably make some better guesstimates. But from what I've heard, generally one of these two are the better to go with. Though I have heard some people taking Snorlax and having some pretty decent success with it as well, as long with Pikachu. I know Pikachu, while weak, does get like King Gambit, Azumarill, Garchomp, some really good ones. Okay, gets Hydreigon, Sylveon, Beedrill. I know Tyranitar gets like Whimsicott, Aggron, Steelix, I think. Or no, it's not Aggron. I think it's Steelix as opposed to Aggron. What else? Shoot, I'm just remembering. I don't know, there's a whole list somewhere. As I said, I wish I really had the spreadsheet open so I could go over every single one of them. I don't know, Pikachu's some really good contenders. I think part of it's also just what Pokemon do you want. From a neutral perspective, we're going to ignore the Pokemon that are in the team, because if you don't know already what you're coming into or you're not searching it up, you're going to be looking at what the stat spreads are, and I do think that is cool, yeah. We haven't had a Dolphin Pokemon for so long, we finally got one. But as I was saying, so we got Contact abilities. In this case, Contact, 30% chance of being paralyzed. Flame Body is going to be 30% chance to burn. Poison Point's 30% chance to poison, etc., etc. Rough Skin Iron Barbs, you make Contact, you take a little bit of damage. Then there's the other way. Yeah, that's fair. Because you could get more later on anyway. Or you can transfer them in, too. But you also have the other way around. You have to say 10k, yeah, you're right. Then you get also the gift Pokemon, like you get a free Raichu right now too with both of its Mega Stones, which is really nice. But yeah, so you got stuff like Poison Touch and Stench and some other things there. Basically, they're the inverse. You go ahead and attack the Pokemon, they have a chance of something happening to them. This is another one of those... I'm not really sure how to categorize certain things. I guess it's like protection abilities. I guess I'd categorize Inner Focus as it's unaffected by Intimidate and it can't flinch. So you get some kind of stuff like that. Again, Inner Focus is immediately the one that comes to mind. Multi-Scale as well is another one I would categorize under there if we're categorizing it as protection-focused abilities, because Multi-Scale means that if you're at max HP, you take half reduction in damage. Again, some of these are those that you have to actually physically see in action, but... Ah, here we go, Trace, another gimmick ability from what I was talking about. This gimmick is that you copy over what the opponent has for their ability. There are a couple exceptions, stuff like Zero to Hero, Stance Change, if Terappa goes wherever in the game, Terra Shift, a couple other ones like that, cannot be traced. Aromaveil's a really nice ability. People forget that too. I would say that you also have, I think, Sweet Veil as another one that prevents you from getting poisoned. So you have two really good options. I think Aromaveil is way better though. I will agree with you on that. Because there's a lot of taunt going around from what I've been seeing from people playing. I don't know the full meta right now, but I know that there's a lot of taunt going around. And a lot of Encore as well. This is one of the... Okay, so Absolute Super Luck. Again, I'm not really sure how to categorize this one. But this is... I guess this would be a booster, technically. This is a booster one I categorize, because you just have a flat +1 critical hit ratio. We'll get into crits later. I'm not going to go into the mathematics side of things. Oh, that's fair. I'm explaining it to a friend right now, and I'm also just... I did say I wanted to do a boot camp, so I'm planning on uploading this as well after stream. So part of it's just I want to have something to go off of for anyone that is watching. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But I want to have something that... I know maybe it's going to be a little bit complex, but just something for people to have to go off of a little bit.
Yeah,
Altaria.
explaining to me.
Yeah. Altaria has another protection-based ability. Ignores weather. That means certain debuffs, like Thunder being 50% accuracy as opposed to 70 under Sun does not happen. Or you don't take the extra damage that you would from a Fire attack under Sun. Or Water attack under Rain. It also means that certain other stuff like Sandstorm damaging you with Altaria just does not happen. And we got Snorlax. This is another protection ability. This one adds resistances onto him. So he basically has a resistance to fire and ice type moves. That is true. I've used an Absol set with that before. Plus, it's got access to a Mega. Other ones I would personally pick, if you're going strictly for Pokemon as opposed to trying to do the research, Charizard, Tyranitar, Lucario, Gardevoir, Absol, and Altaria are going to be your best bets. They all have Mega Pokemon forms, and while it doesn't sound like anything there, Gengar, Aggron, interesting, okay. But yeah, I'd say go for a Mega Pokemon specifically out of the 6 that are there that I mentioned. Just because the fact of a Mega Pokemon will give you a really good basis to build your team off of, and it's a special gimmick that only that specific Pokemon can use, and you can only get one of. And it means that you also potentially free up an item that you'd be using elsewhere. So it means you don't have to have 2 Pokemon that might need leftovers and give one of them a Citrus Berry. You can just give one of them a leftovers then. So like for example, Tyranitar, I have seen people use Focus Sash, or I've seen it with leftovers before. You don't have to use either of those Pokemon there. And that means you get Pokemon that can make better use of the item. Like, for example, Whimsicott making better use of a Focus Sash to potentially endure a hit. That would one-shot it. Because you could just Mega Evolve. As for me, I'm not sure which one I want to pick, actually. Charizard has 2 Mega Forms. Lucario does have 2, but its Z form's not in the game. Gardevoir's fun, but I have one I can literally just transfer in. I think I'm going to skip Gardevoir for that reason. I have one I can literally transfer in. That is true as well, yeah. There's definitely the option of just picking what you like. A lot of Pokemon have viability, and all the Pokemon, barring a couple exceptions like Pikachu, and I believe Chansey's also in this game, are fully evolved. So you can just vibe with whatever Pokemon you want at the end of the day. There's probably some strategy to make stuff work. And worst case, you can battle with your friends against them and do some gimmicky stuff. One of my favorite gimmicks that I've used... Oh! Am I thinking of... Maybe it's not Chansey I'm thinking of. There's another one. I know there's someone besides Pikachu that's not fully evolved that's in the game. Or I thought there was anyway. Pikachu's the only evolved... I guess I stand corrected. I misremembered. Also, why is it over there? Oops. But yeah, I think I'll skip Gardevoir. I can just transfer my Oras one in if I really want to use it. And same thing with my Altaria. I think I have an Altaria actually sitting in waiting to be picked up. So I can skip Altaria. So that leaves me Absol, Lucario, Tyranitar, and Charizard. Honestly, I think I might go Tyranitar. I guess Floette's in a weird position. That is true. Floette's technically unevolved. But it's also a different form that can't evolve, as you said. And the fact that you also need to transfer its own thing in there from Legends ZA to get its Mega Stone. And Mega Stones are generally for fully evolved Pokemon anyway, so I would consider Floette an exception and say that it's technically fully evolved. I think I'm going to go, as you can see, we get Trial Recruitment, Permanent Recruitment, and you can just use VP. I think I might go for Tyranitar, honestly. It's a good Pokemon, and it has a basis for a Sand team, and it's also just a solid type. Like, it's got good coverage. Actually, that's a good point. Floette is meta. To be fair, Metagross and Golden Go are good. I know Golden Go got nerfed. I don't remember what changed about it outside of certain moves not working that should now, and vice versa. But, Charizard has Charizard Y available, or X. I don't... Why is this hard for me? To be fair... Oh, that's right. Make It Rain got nerfed, too. I forgot about that. Yeah, screw it. I'm going Tyranitar. I said I was going before. We're taking Tyranitar. Mighty fine Pokemon you picked out there. Come on back when you feel like recruiting little more... Or, bleh, more little darlings from our ranch. You hear?
I still have no idea who to pick.
Honestly, Tyranitar's a good pick. Charizard's a good pick. Gardevoir's a good pick. As I said, I would pick one of the Pokemon that has a Mega, or I'd pick Pikachu if you want really good teammates for it. Here's a better question for you. Do you want a Pokemon that's going to be a good ace for your team, or do you want the teammates? If you want the teammates, pick Pikachu 100%. Because you'll have options to get way better Pokemon available. And you can start using VP to recruit some more. If you want a good, strong ace Pokemon, Charizard has 2 different forms that are available to it. You can make it physical or special. Tyranitar is a good one as well. It's got weather setting capabilities. It has some synergy with other Pokemon of its typing. It's also just a good Pokemon that's consistently been valuable. Lucario is a decent option. It's got a good typing. Fighting Steel is actually a pretty decent offensive typing. It's not perfect, but Lucario also has really good options that can go physical or special, regardless of whether it's Mega or not. It has good coverage, a lot of really good coverage, honestly. Gardevoir is a special attacker straight up. You're probably going to switch out something for a Fairy-type move for something like Hyper Voice, because Mega will be using Pixelate, which turns... And we'll get into that category of moves later. But basically, Pixelate, for your knowledge, is normal-type moves become Fairy-type and gain a 1.2 times power boost. So you'll be using, like, Hyper Voice on it, for instance. Okay, let's categorize it better. Do you want a physical or special attacker? Let's start with that.
I guess special.
Okay, so we got Lucario then, we've got Gardevoir, and we've got, I'm trying to remember, I think Altaria has some special moves too on it. Yeah, I was gonna say it's more of a support one, but mixed support, but yeah, we'll go ahead and say you got Altaria, Gardevoir, or Lucario then as your three options. Yeah, recommendation, I'm being told you should probably pick up Gardevoir then. Fairy-type is a good typing, and Psychic Fairy does have some really good coverage, and Gardevoir gets Vacuum Wave in this game, which is a good priority. It actually gets priority outside of Shadow Sneak now. Which, let me tell you, using that in Noras was fun, but it really sucked. It would have been way better on Gallade. But yeah, I'd say go for one of those three, and in chat, recommendation is to go for Gardevoir, so I'd say pick up Gardevoir on your end then. Alright, so you got just how to recruit Pokemon from camp.
Okay.
That lockdown, let's head back to the gym, shall we? Take good care of that little darling you recruited. Don't be a stranger now. This is where you'll be told to do a battle. It'll be against an AI. The AI will generally try to throw. Because it's supposed to be one of those, like, it's a tutorial battle. We're picking 3 and your opponent will randomly pick 3. Welcome back. Did you manage to recruit a lovely Pokemon? We sure did. Turns out that talented Pokemon are drawn to talented trainers. That still leaves you a grand total of 1 Pokemon to your name, eh? You'll need 6 Pokemon to face off against other battle. For now, I'll let you the remaining 5 you need for my own personal box. No need to access your own box and add the Pokemon there to your battle team before you can actually use them for battling. Speaking of, Rhodey, mind giving our new recruit the rundown of the boxes and battle teams? So, 30 Pokemon per box, but you'll actually see what your box capacity is. All your Pokemon will take up a slot, and that includes your rentals, your permanent ones, and your Pokemon home ones. Yeah, I was gonna say, we definitely gotta do those tutorials, because I saw that one of them gives you like, what is it, like 8 Mega Stones, I think. Then it's also just free VP and items, which you want. This thing's tweaking out half the time. Happy that sort of thing is my specialty. To be fair, I'm having to use an emulator. I'm not shy in saying it. I have to use an emulator for it is Aggron. Okay, I thought so. Not Steelix, it was Aggron. Yeah, if you see a small flicker, ignore that. I'm still trying to deal with the emulator for this. Because unfortunately, I don't have a capture card for my Switch as much as I'd love to, and I don't have any good screen mirroring on my phone. So we're making do with what we can. Unfortunately, it's a little janky right now because it just came out. Alright, about other teams, you make a battle team with 6 Pokemon on it. First up, choose the slot. Oh, wait, this is the Rotom. I'm just talking to it. First up, choose the slot you'd like to fill. So we're gonna pick the first one, and that's gonna be putting, in this case, the first Pokemon you have. And then you get auto build. So it'll give you Pokemon that you just have. It'll slot in which ones you got. As you can see, we all have different items. So Aggron has a Focus Sash, Drain Plus a Mental, or a White Herb. Whimsicott has Leftovers. Arcanine has a Citrus Berry. Tyranitar has a Lumberry. Sylveon has a Quick Claw. Ah, that's true. That is true. I don't know. I'll still need to look into it in the future. But I also want to make sure I got one that's going to work properly and set everything up. Because I know sometimes you got to set them up and it's... eh. But, we can worry about that later. Alright, so we got adjustments. We don't really have any items or moves we can change up on the VP. Nicely done. Looks like you got your box and a battle team all prepared. With that, you can finally get into ranked battles. First goal for you would be to graduate from beginner tier to Pokeball tier. Beginner tier is pretty much where it sounds. Your opponents to all this tier will be rookies. They'll do fine there, I know it. Head on out to the battlefield and just have fun. Ahem, Tatara. Hell yes, what? Show him where to go for ranked battles, would you? You mean right now? But I just started watching one of Caraway's old interviews. Here, you should come watch too. You're Caraway, right? She owns the Battle Arena. She's also, you know, incredibly, amazingly awesome, and I've been her biggest fan for ages. Come now, Tatara, you can watch that video any old time. Come back to it later. Okay, I'll show you where to go. So you can see we got the team set up there. You can, by music, I'd be able to change up music. Then you can begin matchmaking. Now this one will be against a bot, like I said. And the bot will have any random name. It'll be probably in Japanese, yeah. Because it picks a random player's name of a pre-existing player and picks their starting team to use. So in this case, I got the Armor Rouge team. So that's Manectric, Hawlucha, Hydreigon, Victory Bell, Steelix, and Armor Rouge. So I'm picking 3. So my selection right here is... Ground type would be really good. I don't think he's got... I actually can't see what Pokemon I have for the moves. That really sucks. Dragon would be really good here. I'm going to Whimsicott to deal with... These two are good options. Do a Fire Punch to deal with some stuff there. I'm actually gonna... no. And then I think I'm gonna go personally for... Yeah, I was gonna say, if you get into a losing streak, it will automatically also set you up for dealing with bots. That way you get some time to actually practice and learn. So that way it's not just a curb stomp after curb stomp after curb stomp. I think I'll go Drampa as my last one personally. Which, honestly, that's really nice, too. Aggron, Drampa, and Tyranitar all have Megas. Though, if I were to choose one right now, I'd probably go for Tyranitar, personally. Aggron's not bad for doubles, though, in some cases. Iron Defense or Curse. Then you can start spamming Body Press. You get Filter and you lose your Rock weakness. Armor is starting out, it's not great. This is where we go into Tyranitar. Now, he could have Focus Blast, but probably won't. He's probably going to go either for a Fire attack, or he's going to go for a Psychic one. Probably Fire, because it's super effective. We're swing Armor Cannon. Nope, Taunt. Okay. So Taunt means I just can't use special attacks. Yeah, I was going to say, I know he does throw, but I've actually seen him use some actual attacks before. So I actually got my old man into this game. And he's an actual one. He went up against, he had a Whimsicott start from one of the other teams, and he went up against a Gengar that immediately tried to attack him. Though then his Azumarill that popped out then went for 2 fake tears in a row. We can go for Stone Edge or Knockoff. I'm going to go for Knockoff here because it's a guaranteed hit. Fortunately, it does survive. Stone Edge probably would have been better, but 80% accuracy is kind of whatever. If this were a real player, I probably would go for Stone Edge, but I'm just going to go ahead and get there. And you can see that an item. Knockoff also didn't kill, to be fair, because he doesn't have items. If he did, Knockoff would have absolutely done more power. It would have been, I think, 65 base power, and it goes into double into 130, if I remember right. Yeah, so faster he goes for Flame Charge, he gets a little bit of damage off on me, and he goes down. But yeah, if he had an actual item, if this were a real player, they'd be having an item. That Armor Rouge would have been one-tap because of Knockoff. We got Hawlucha here. Not a great situation for B. If this were not a Pokemon that had fighting-type moves, I'd start Dragon Dancing, but it's a fighting type that Tyranitar is quad weak to. So we're switching to Whimsicott to deal with that. So Whimsicott has Fairy-type moves. Now, it is a bit of a risk, because if you could use a Flying-type move, or you could use, like, Flying Press, it would still be super effective, but, again, he's going to throw. But if I had to go between the Pokemon that I had, all of mine are weak to Hawlucha, admittedly. I probably should have picked Sylveon here, now that I'm thinking about it. But... because if he'd gone for Flying Press... actually, no, it would have been neutral, because it would have been there. Because I got 2 priority... I got Prankster, so I can go priority on these. But we're not going to use them. We're going to go straight for a Moonblast. Hit him with that Fairy Power. Yeah, I've seen a lot of taunt and encore, but to be fair, those are just good moves that, especially if your opponent starts setting up, you can just block up into it. Next trick we're gonna go right. I'm taunted still. I forgot about that. I'm gonna go for Giga Drain here. Oh, crit. There we go. This is where we can talk about crits. So there is a small chance for so all moves have between 85 and 100% of their power given to them whenever you make an attack. Crits also can happen. They bypass stat changes, both of your opponent's positive ones and your negative ones. So if I was minus special attack, I would have been the same as having a neutral attack. And if he had plus special defense, it would be ignored. So it'd be the same as having plus 0. The odds for it, I believe, are about, I think it's 1 in 24, but don't quote me. I need to get the exact number up. And at plus 2, it's a guaranteed crit for most things, if I remember right. Yeah, 4.17% or 1 in 24. They do 1.5 times damage. Stage 0, which is your base, is going to be 1 in 24. Stage 1 is going to be 1 in 8. Stage 2 is 1 in 2. And then Stage 3 is guaranteed. Now, Stage 2 is going to be stuff like using a high crit move and having like super luck. So that'd be like your Night Slashes on Absol, or Cycle Cut on Absol. Or using like a Scope Lens with a high crit move. One boost is going to be something like a Focus Energy, or just a base super luck, or holding like a Scope Lens. Stuff like that. Anything that's 3 is going to be stuff like your high crits, and then maybe like a Focus Energy boost, or Pokemon Super Luck, holding a thing there, using a high crit move. And those will be guaranteed things there. But the important thing is that crits can happen, at least on a 1 in 24 basis, for any move that does damage specifically. Stuff like Leech Seed, Memento, Dragon Dance, they cannot crit. It has to physically do damage, and it does 1.5 times. Meaning it ignores the 85 to 100% damage roll that normally happens. Nice going. You breezed right through the beginner tier. And a lot tougher without my handy battle information, right? Oh, I'm so happy to see you find your feet already. I just knew you'd be great at this. Of course, I'd be expecting nothing less from a prompt trainer I've taken under my wing. But don't you forget, we've still got a ways to go. There are 6 tiers total. Ranked battles. One you'll be dealing with next is called the Pokeball tier. Hope someday you'll be calling through every last tier to reach the champion tier. Coach and trainer so they can coach and trainer so they can achieve that lofty goal is my dream. Sounds good. Well, you're more than capable of doing it, I'm sure. For all this burning passion sure leaves an old fellow parched. Tata, do you think you could fetch us some chilled bottled soda pop from the store? Can do, but you're paying me back later, okay, Grandpa? She got Klefki on her end. This prefer kind of matches the color scheme because she got that fairy kind of, well, then the little flower thing for the fairy type. Cordy, we got guessing coming. God, I don't have good voices for these two. We'll make it work. Well, Caraway and Kojima. Swear to see you both here together. To what do I owe the pleasure? Lovely to see you, Cordy. And you as well, trainer. I don't believe we've met before. My name is Caraway. I'm the owner of the Battle Arena. I'll introduce myself as well, shall I? Kojima's the name. I'm the mayor of this fine city of Frontier. Splendid to meet you, young trainer. Battle Arena's always paying us a surprise visit with the mayor of the city? Is our poor old gym getting shut down or something? Rotom has some unique ideas. Simply just part of the tour around the personal gyms. I've only been the owner of Battle Arena for half a year, you know. Getting to know the city's various battle facilities is due diligence. Well, since you're here, or since you were talking about Cordy, I'm sure everything in this gym is shipshape. You take your coaching duties just as seriously as you take your battling. So you two, Mayor's seal of approval. Regardless if there's anything that is troubling you, please don't hesitate to mention it. That's kind of you to say, but I already went and solved the one big problem on my plate. Allow me to present our gym's new manager, our very own Happy. My 55 years of Pokemon trainer telling me this kid's gonna be one to watch. Oh, so that's what that gleam in your eye is all about, eh? You finally found a successor. You made a good choice, Gordy. I can tell this one is a battle spirit and talent to match. You surely do a good job, or a fine job running the gym. Happy, Alyssa. I hope to see you win your way through ranked battles all the way to the champion tier. Good luck, champion to be. Gah, glad we stopped by. Just in time to hear the good news. Yes, in fact, why don't I give you a little something to celebrate you becoming new gym manager? I got an Omni Ring. Right now, that's only going to be available for Megas, but once we get stuff like Z moves, Gigantamax, / Dynamax, Terrestrialization, etc., you'll be able to use them for that. This is called an Omni Ring. You can draw out the potential that lies hidden within Pokemon. Should be able to make good use of it and show us some stupendous battles. Like, for instance, we got Mr. VGC himself over here that has a special Z move, and Caraway's Hatterene, Pokemon over her left, little witch-looking one, has a special Gigantamax for him. There you have it. Pick the power into its foundations, you hear? I hope to see you there. I'm back! Here are soap pops, so I got some lemonade instead. Hope that's okay. I'm gonna really hit the spot, actually. Thanks, Tatara. I'm afraid you went out. Worst time, though. Caraway stopped by a visit. You're joking! She just dropped in out of the blue! Oh, I wish I'd been here to meet her. You think she'll ask, she'll just do a bunch of ranked battles? Well, if that's the goal, I think her lesson using the Omni Ring is in order. Stop on by to the training room when you're ready and I'll get you started. So this is more or less what we're talking about. Step 1, recruit some Pokemon. Step 2, train them up. Step 3, use them to do battle. Let's approach the basic flow. Remember these steps and you'll be fine. You can also use VP in the shop to get stuff like held items and clothes. Don't forget to give the held items you obtain to your Pokemon before heading into battle. That about covers it for now, I think. Let's all shoot for the stars as one big team. Champion tier, here we come. And you can get 10,000 VP. And this is where I'm now free on my own to do what I want. So we got the mailbox, we got some missions, we got the training, we got the battle. Sort the box. So we've got 30 spaces starting out. You can see I've got 6 Pokemon out of my 30. I can also change up my items, or I can take them off. So I can go on Tyranitar and drag him on. I can drag him off. Tyranitar, can I put you on the team? Thank you. Oh, we got the held items as well. I could take them off of Tyranitar and give him, let's say I want to give him Arcanine's item. I'd have to take it off of Arcanine first, but I could then give it to him. I'm not going to. I'm going to make this my Mega. Unless I feel like using one of my other ones. So you can take that one off. I can give this one the Lumberry instead. I can change the item if I need to. This is where we should probably see what all these Pokemon moves are. Draco Meteor, I was right on the expectation for that. Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice. This is what I was talking about. Drampa gets access to both Thunderbolt and Flamethrower because he has a normal type. Drampa gets a lot of coverage. Like, Normal types tend to get a lot of really good coverage in exchange for not being able to hit super effectively with normal type moves. Sylveon slow. We got Pixelate on Sylveon. This is what I was talking about. Hyper Voice Pixelate. As you can click here. See, power becomes 20% higher, and they're changed to fairy type moves. That also means that you get same type attack bonus. Any moves that are the same type as the Pokemon you're using will get a 50% power boost. So like Shadow Ball is only going to be 80 base power, but we'll ignore Hyper Voice boost because there's a 20% boost there. But let's just say for the sake of argument that Hyper Voice was already a fairy type move, and let's say that there was no power boost. You just turned it into a fairy type move. Half a 90's 45, so that'd be a 135 base power move on Hyper Voice. Then you got some stuff like your resistances and super effective hits. So this would be 135. Again, we're ignoring Hyper Voice's or Pixelate's boost for the moment for the sake of argument, just because of nice even numbers. Well, Shadow Ball's a base 80 move, but if we're dealing with a Pokemon that's Ghost type, that turns into a 160 power base move because it's 2 times power. And if we're dealing with a Pokemon that's Quad weak to it, it turns into a 320 base power. In this case, it would actually be stronger than running Hyper Voice and using Hyper Voice in this context. You can see we have stuff like Quick Attack, Simple, Priority Move. If my move doesn't have any special gimmick with it, like Hyper Voice, being that you can see accuracy, power, etc. Range all opponents. So this is for double battle, it would hit all opponents. It would say everyone on the field. or it's a, you know, all other Pokemon, so like that sound-based. So you can see sound-based, that means stuff like soundproof, immune to it. Or certain other things like Liquid Voice would power it up and change it into a water move. Ball and Bomb moves affects Pokemon like using Bulletproof and other similar kind of abilities. Priority moves, so stuff like impact stuff like Dazzling or Armor Tail, where you can't use it against them. But it also means that this will go generally before, unless a Pokemon's using a move of a same priority or higher, this move will always go first. So if I'm fighting another Sylveon, and that Sylveon's using Hyper Voice, and I'm using Quick Attack, I will go first. Now, if we're both using Quick Attack, if we both have the same speed, whoever has the higher speed, or it'll be a coin flip. Otherwise, whoever has the higher speed in the priority bracket will go first. Same way that a regular move would. And there's anywhere from -6 to +6 priority. Most priority moves are going to be +1. A couple of them, like E-Speed, also known as Extreme Speed, are going to be +2. Protect's +4. Etc., etc. You also got some ones that are... Actually, no, I think there's -7, actually. Let's get 7 to 7, actually. Let me correct myself, because Trick Room's -7. Then you have other stuff like Avalanche that's going to be -6. Or stuff like Counter or Mirror Coat that's going to be -6. So those Pokemon do have some shenaniganry there. Also got early download bonus. That is a free Dragonite, and I get a bunch of coupons as well. I get quick coupons. Those can be used for getting new Pokemon, essentially, without having to wait. As you can see, we also get Raichu. We get is Raichu X and Y. We get a permanent Raichu as well. And this is where we can talk about certain Pokemon like Raichu. I'm sure this Raichu probably has something there. We're going to want to change this Raichu up. As you can see, this one's physical. Has Lightning Rod built in. If I wanted to make it Raichu Y, I could switch out his stuff to being, for example, I don't want that 99 thing there. I would want him to be a special attacker with a minus attack nature if I wanted to use Raichu Y. So like this one, I would probably give Raichu Knight X because that would be physical. You can see Dragonite has some mixed stuff here. This one is made to be a Mega Dragonite for its thing there. You can see E-Speed, I'll talk about. +2 priority. There are some cases where stuff like even like using a minus attack nature. So we get Modest right here, boost special attack, minus attack. E-Speed's still a good pick on it because it's priority. Priority you're keeping on usually for the purposes of damage. To just quickly finish off an opponent that might be able to finish you off. Or in some cases, when you're about to go down, you can just toss out a priority attack, break some items like Focus Sashes, or potentially knock out an opponent that might knock you out, or at least do some chip damage. Considering this has Fire Blast, Ice Beam, Draco Meteor, this one's very clearly intended to be a Mega Dragonite, because Mega Dragonite's a special attacker, and normally Base Dragonite's a physical attacker. And also, this is what I was talking about with Multiscale. You basically get a free resistant hit if your HP's full. It's only while it's full. Alright, let me go ahead and switch over to the ranch now. There's the recruit section. So you can get Pokemon that are available every 22 hours. So if I want to get Pokemon, I can get a new lineup of Pokemon for free right now. So we'll see what we get, because this will be random. We'll also know if there's any special Pokemon having titles or something like that. That means that has something special. So it could be a title, it could be a Pokeball, it could be shiny, though it would show up as shiny if it was. Unremarkable form, High Plains pattern. Let's check Pokeballs first. Ah, that Pikachu is a Beast Ball. You can see this is a Pikachu with a Beast Ball. That's a special ball. So it's different. So Pokeballs have different animations for them being used, for being tossed out. Now, I will pass up on the Pikachu, unfortunately, as much as I really want that Pikachu. To be fair, that's not a good Pikachu anyway. Thunderbolt, Charge, Reflect, Encore is not that great. You'd probably want to do some other stuff with it, and you'd want to use Light Ball, you'd be wanting to use Volt Tackle on it. Or, well, to be fair, not necessarily Volt Tackle. You could, but... Grimstar is a good support Pokemon. Just by having all physical moves, he's going to be getting... We probably want to change it to Prankster. Pinsir has a Mega Form. You can see Faint right here, has a +2 priority, but it also bypasses Protect and Detect. Greninja has a Mega. Vivillon is special to there. We go. Meowscarada is a good Pokemon. That might be tempting. We definitely would want to change up what it's using for its ability and for its moves. Flower Trick's a given. That's its signature move. Only Pokemon that gets it. It's worth keeping. It bypasses accuracy, always crits. And you get stab bonus, so it's a stab 105 power-based move. Well, correction, if you change type, it might not get stab anymore, but still a really good move. Grimstar is good support Pokemon. Pinsir has a Mega. Pikachu can get Light Ball. Also, again, it's a special Pikachu. I am going to pass on the Beast Ball on it, though. As cool as it is. Greninja has a lot of special moves here. It's a special attacker. I don't want to get counter on this. It's kind of interesting, though. Also, something interesting to note is that there's gender ratios. This Greninja is a lot rarer than this Meowscarada in theory, because this Greninja's female. Starters have a 1 in 8 chance to be a female, and for the most part, gender doesn't matter. There's a couple instances like Rivalry being taken into effect, the ability Rivalry, where you do 50% more or less depending if the Pokemon's the same gender as you, or the opposite one. So, a Pokemon like if this Meowscarada had Rivalry, it would do 50% less to Greninja. Whereas if it were up against Pikachu, it would do 50% more. It's a male Pokemon. I'm passing on you. You're not that good. Fortunately, I don't really care for Simisage, honestly. It's not that great. Also, it's running Timid, and it's running 3 physical moves, which is really ironic. If you were Hisui and Gudra, I'd definitely take you. You're not that good anymore because Gelwing's got nerfed. Break Guard's funny. But I'd rather have, that's good for doubles, though. What's the ability? Compound Eyes. So I could run, like, Hurricane, Bug Buzz, some kind of coverage, and then Quiver Dance. And I think Hurricane would be really good, because I could just slap with, like, 98% Hurricanes. What I will pick on my end, though, is I think I will take Meowscarada. I can think something better on my end. I don't think I have a Grass type either. We'll take Meowscarada. I can give it for a trial of 7 days, or I can just permanently recruit it. I'm going to permanently recruit it using 2500. I think it's worth it right now, because I'm in a limited situation where I don't have a ton of Pokemon. And also, Meowscarada is just a good Pokemon. I don't want to have to remember to actually come back and turn it into a permanent recruit.
My Pokemon are completely different from yours.
Well, I think you chose a different starter than I did, too. You chose to pick a Gardevoir. What do you have?
Avalugg.
Ooh, okay. Avalug's fun. I like Avalugg.
Victory Bell.
That's not bad. He's got a Mega. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's a cool Pokemon. I do like Victory Bell. You can make him physical or special.
Chime Show? I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Yeah.
Is it like a little wind chime thing where it's really tiny, like pink and white?
Yeah.
That one has a Mega as well, and it's actually a really decent one. It becomes Psychic Fairy, or not Psychic Fairy, Psychic Steel rather. It's not terrible. It actually gets some surprisingly decent bulk. You can get stuff like Cosmic Power, Stored Power, or Combine Stored Power. That's pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's the best Pokemon though. I'm assuming that you went to your lineup though. I'm assuming for what your free Pokemon is. Okay, so let me get a notepad open real quick on what you have. So you have, you said Chimecho. You had, what was your first one?
Avalugg.
Avalug's a fun one. Is it Hisuian or is it standard? Is it a rock? Is it like an iceberg?
Hisuian.
Okay, I'd say skip that one then most likely. It's got a really bad defensive typing. It's quad weak to 2 typings. And it doesn't have the best abilities, even if it does have a cool move in Mountain Gale. It's really slow. What else do you have?
The next one was Victory Bell. I don't know if you wrote that one down.
Oh, thank you, Victory Bell. What
and
Pokemon?
Then the Chimecho. And after, oh, sorry.
Keep going, please.
Oh my, Reuniclus?
Reuniclus?
Yeah.
Is it like a fetus-looking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Reuniclus. He's slow and kind of bulky. He does get Regenerator, though, so he's not bad. He does have some use cases. What's next?
Hatterene.
Not bad. Does it have Magic Bounce, or does it have one of its other abilities, out of curiosity?
Oh, magic bounce, yes.
Okay, that's the good ability you want on it. Because I'm gonna say you might have to put some points into it otherwise. You probably will, but extra points. Next Pokemon.
Typhlosion?
Typhlosion's a starter. Is it Hisuian or standard?
I don't see the thing under it like I did.
Is it a fire type or a fire ghost type?
It's just fire.
Okay, so it's standard. Okay. Okay, what do you got next?
Ariados?
Repeat that one, please.
Ariados?
Ariados, okay.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. He's not really,
this
unfortunately, Ariados is kind of frail, but he is a decent support startup Pokemon because he gets stuff like sticky webs and other there, but we're going to skip that for right now.
This one has like a weird shiny title above it, like Ariados the Sociable.
Oh, you pulled the thing there. Yeah, there's
means.
a chance. There's a chance in Champions, I believe it's 1 in 512 for a shiny, and occasionally you'll get stuff like a Pokeball that's going to be different. Like in my case with my Pikachu, I had a Beast Ball on my Pikachu. Sometimes there'll be titles on it where it'll be like the Sociable, the Cloudy. If you send them out, it'll physically be like, go Ariados the Sociable, or go Ariados the Cloudy, or something like that. So it's basically just a little bit extra flair for your Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Nothing really too special then.
Yeah, it's just a cosmetic thing, essentially.
Okay. Next one is Ninetales.
Alolan or standard?
Alolan.
Ooh, that one's not bad. Ice Fairy's a good
It's
typing.
pretty.
I like it more than the standard one. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. I'm biased towards it. I will say that's not a bad pickup. And it's pretty fast. Does it have Snow Warning or Snow Cloak?
Snow Cloak.
You're going to change that to Snow Warning, and you're going to want to put Blizzard on that thing if it doesn't already have it.
It does have Blizzard.
Excellent. You get Snow Warning on that, you can fire off Blizzards immediately, bypassing accuracy. While it's snowing. It's really decent. That one might be the one that I would pick. What's the last ones that you have?
The last two are Slowking,
Which version? Galar or Standard?
Galar,
Okay, so it's Psychic Poison, okay. And what's the last one?
and Incineroar.
Mr. VGC himself. Okay, so you have two really tough options here. Your best options, objectively, are Ninetales Alolan form or Incineroar. Ninetales is going to be a good support Pokemon. You have a Aurora Veil, you can toss a Light Clay on that Pokemon, or a Focus Sash. And you'll have an Aurora Veil that, unless someone Brick Breaks it, will cover you against both physical and special moves by 70% in a single battle and 40% in a double battle for 5 or 8 turns, depending if you're using Standard or Light Clay. Because what you'll probably do with Alolan Ninetales is something like, you'll have a free move, might be something like Freeze Dry, Blizzard, Moonblast, and then Aurora Veil would be what you'd probably run. Incineroar is just a good Pokemon. You got Intimidate, which is a good ability. You've got Flare Blitz, you got Fake Out, you got Parting Shot, you got Darkest Lariat, you got Knock Off. You've got some other decent coverage attacks on there. I'm trying to remember what else he gets coverage-wise. I know it's usually just Stab and uses Fake Out and Parting Shot on top of that.
Do I have to pick one, or can I just grab both?
You only get to pick one, unfortunately, for the lineup.
No.
And that's why I'm like, that's why I'm trying to think right now which one might be better. Do you want a physical attacker or do you want a special support? Is my best question for you. Do you want a support one or do you want a physical attacker? Both of them could do some really good stuff.
This is such a tough choice.
Admittedly, you'll have more options later on. It's just, the other 10 options still, but like, you get what I mean. You'll have more options for your Pokemon later on, so it'll be a lot easier to start picking up Pokemon that you need more of. The problem is like, which of those are you going to be better benefiting from? What Pokemon do you have on your base team, from what you remember?
Oh god, I don't remember any of that.
Okay.
I didn't know I was supposed to.
Okay, let me
No, I
look
was supposed to.
online. Pokemon Champions. Let me see what Pokemon you should have, because you chose Gardevoir, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you get... Oh my god, you get Corviknight! That's really good. So you get Drampa as well. Abomasnow, Heracross, Drampa all get Megas alongside there. Azumarill, which will have huge power. And then Corviknight. Corviknight's really good. It's like one of the best typings defensively. Steel Flying is a really nasty thing there, and it's bulky. And you should have Mirror Armor as your ability. So if any negative stat boost gets bounced back. So realistically, you have a lot of physical, because you're going to have Corviknight's physical, Azumarill's physical, Heracross is physical. Abomasnow could be either. Drampa's special. I generally see Abomasnow leaning more towards physical, admittedly. But I've seen it go special as well. It can go either or. So you can kind of pivot whenever you need to. I think, given that, I'd actually say go for, as weird as it is to pass on Incineroar, I'd say go for Ninetales, because you have synergy with Abomasnow already, where you can set up Snow for it, and it also sets up Snow for you. And you can drop Aurora Veil to boost you. Now, I know you could do the same thing with, admittedly, with a thing there. I was going to say, also, you could just swap out Abomasnow then and put Alola and Ninetales in there. That's also just a straight-up better option. Honestly, yeah, do Ninetales, and you can swap out a Abomasnow and put in Alola and Ninetales in there. Yeah. Alright, as for me, I'm going to go ahead and train... Oops. Nope, that scaled. Yeah. Alright, let me train my Pokemon. I'm going to go to my Meowscarada, personally, and I'm going to change up its attacks. You can see he's got some funny stuff there. We got Priority, we got... I don't really do any of the grass attacks on it, because we got that already. He does get Thunder Punch. He does get U-Turn. Acrobatics is funny, but... we're going to go for Triple Axle on him, because that gives me some coverage against flying types, and it's just a Sash Breaker. I gotta keep Throat Chop. I got Sucker Punch I can use. I can run Knockoff. That's a lot better. I think I'm gonna use for my last attack. I'm gonna switch over to... I could go Sucker Punch. I'm tempted. I think I will go Play Rough. And then I will change my offensive to Protean, and my nature to Adamant. Though knowing that, I actually spent a lot of points here. I'm going to put all my points in HP here. Give myself max speed. And then actually I think I will put the 2 points in HP for a little bit better bulk. I'll be an odd amount, so if I get halved. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I mean, it's 1900. But I did have to change a whole bunch of things up with Meowscarada, so... Yeah, Meowscarada's now battle ready. I will swap that in, I think, over... Whoops. Over Aggron, and then I'm going to give you the Focus Sash, so that way you can actually survive a hit. I am doubling up on types, unfortunately, with both of them, but it's not bad. Raichu, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with, if I'm going to try and use Special for to keep you physical. Dragonite, I don't have his thing there. I will start right now, shop-wise. Ignore any cosmetics or music, as tempting as that is. If you go into the shop, there'll be basic stuff, and then there'll be the standard stuff. The Frontier shop is what you're going to be needing. This is where you can get certain items, so it'll be your weather extensions, like your Icy Rocks, Heat Rocks, Smooth Rocks, Damp Rocks. Light Clay's a good one. That one you're going to want to pick up. You're going to put that on your Ninetales. Because you're probably going to be giving that thing Snow Warning and Aurora Veil. So yeah, you get 8 turns of your Light Clay then. I will actually pick one up myself, personally. Shell Bell, you got the items. Okay, your super effective berries, Light Bulb, Mega Stones. So you get a whole bunch of Mega Stones. I'm gonna go ahead and do the Mega tutorial real quick. Okay, ignore your clothes, your battle themes, etc. We can get that once you're good to go. Oh, we got missions right now. Let me go collect all that. You get missions weekly, so let's just log into the game. You get daily missions, ranked battles, starter missions, do some shopping. I've got an account already, it's 3000 VP, nice. see the style section here. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything I can use. Because I just have whatever's available. I can change my hair color. My hair saw I want my hair color, but I can change my hair. Actually, I can. It's kind of cursed looking. I'm gonna go for the green gloves. It's a little bit better. I can just wear the shirt. I got pants. Front leg. Let's do that one. Yeah, we'll keep that right here for right now. Okay, we got. Nope, that's. I don't need that. Let me save that. You gotta save the current style, and then you can exit. Cool. And there's also a mission to change the outfit. You get a little bit of quick coupons. Quick coupons can be used for speeding things up, like if I wanted to go to the recruit section again, I can use a bunch of tickets for ones that are missing, and that'll give me 22 hours. Basically, one coupon is worth 1 day, or 1 hour rather, rounded upwards. I have a couple Pokemon from Pokemon Home. I'm gonna go grab them real quick. As you can see, I have a shiny Milotic, and I have, well, actually, get the ads going. I'll give it a minute. Let me wait for a moment and we get the ads. This is where I want to talk about the Pokemon Home stuff. Now we got like 20 seconds to wait. I know you've been a little quiet. How are you holding up? Have you been absorbing everything I've been saying okay?
I am trying.
That's the most anyone can ask out of you, to be fair. I will say, if you weren't sure about a Pokemon when you're looking through it, rental is a really good idea. Because if you don't know what the Pokemon's going to do, or if you aren't sure if you're going to like it, you at least get the Pokemon to use for a full week. If you like it, then you can go ahead at any point during that week make that Pokemon a permanent recruit. Now, I just went for a Meowscarada on my end because I knew I was going to use it, and I know it's a good Pokemon. The same way I would tell you to make either the Incineroar or the Alolan Ninetales permanent yourself. But we got Pokemon Home. So I got Pokemon Home. You can set a whole bunch of them there, back and forth. This is one of those things of, if you're downloading the game for the first time, it is highly recommended that you link your Nintendo account if you have one, because it'll allow you to bring Pokemon from Pokemon Home. And Pokemon from Pokemon Home can be brought in from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Legends ZA, Pokebank from some of the previous generations. Like, this is a really old Milotic. This one's like level 24, all the way back from Oras. Like, not Oras. Sorry, this one's from Oras. Let me correct myself, it's Altaria. This one's from Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon. I don't remember which. He's from 2018-ish, like 2017, 2018. I'm gonna collect both of them. See, current strength we use to determine, yeah. So it'll be giving it stats based on what's available. So I'm assuming my Milotic probably won't have all of its stats that are necessary there. And it'll have whatever movesets I gave them, I believe. So let's go over to there. Oh, he's got a banned move. Ah, he doesn't get toxic anymore. Yeah, as you can see, I got Beast Ball on him. He's shiny. Surprisingly, he actually has a bunch of EVs mostly statted out. He's got 1 point. He's got 2 points missing, though. For some reason, he's got defense and with 1 in there and special defense with 31 only. Weird. But yeah, I didn't get rid of Toxic in order to use him. My Altaria has some titles as well. And this is where we can talk about titles when we're talking about the additional settings. Change title. As you can see, I have the Once Sleepy, formerly Buff, Historical Genius, Former Idol. I'm gonna give him the Shining Star title. Because this Altaria is from the Gen 6 games, and he got through every single contest in those games to get that specific Shining Star title. It is one that is straight up exclusive to Oras, so this is an old Altaria. Now, Natural Cure is not a bad ability. Probably the better one, honestly. He's got basically no EVs. I'll need to change him up a little bit. Honestly, I might slap him in my team. Though he doesn't have any good moves. I just whatever contest moves I had last on him, which was Roost, Ice Beam, Dazzling Gleam. Fire Blast, sorry, I sneezed. I'll probably figure out something for him. I'm gonna go ahead and make a second team real quick, and I'll put him on there. Jeez, I'm sneezing. Bring Meow's Garada on. I can put Tyranitar on the team without using it as a Mega. Arcanine's not bad. I will put on the team for that reason, for diversity. And you know what? Let's go. Let's start putting some of the Pokemon. I'm gonna put you in your Mega. You're gonna get leftovers for your item. You're getting Sash. You're gonna get the Lumberry. You Citrus. And then do I want? Again, I don't want to use you right now because you're clearly intended to be Mega. Meaning you're not going to be doing very well here. I mean, you can still run it special. I guess I could still run it specially. I guess I could toss you on here. Actually, I just think I will. Cool. So let me go ahead and train on my Lodic real quick and adjust some of his stuff. What do I want to actually? I'm going to keep Hydro Pump for cover. Toxic I have to get rid of, so... Alluring Voice, Draining Kiss, Dragon Eye Tail, Dragon Dance, Dragon Cheer, what's Dragon Moves, Dragon Pulse. I want to go Physical because your Physical's not great. Scald is probably better than Hydro Pump, honestly, but eh. Could go for some weird stuff. Round is funny, but I'm not using you for doubles. I think I'm going to give him Mirror Coat. -5. It's fine. Competitive. Honestly, that's the best. I mean, Marvel Scale's not bad, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna keep competitive personally. Marvel Scale's not bad though, because if it gets burned, and there's some cases where you straight would give him a Burn Orb. A Flame Orb to intentionally burn yourself to get you a 50% defense boost. Q-Charm's kind of funny, but that's too gimmicky. And I'm changing your nature from relaxed to... Realistically, I'm probably going to go for modest. Alternatively, I could go for something more bulky on you. I should check what stats you got. Do that real quick. So I'll probably do for you is I actually might just boost your HP, honestly. We'll see what that looks like. And then I'm going to set my nature to plus defense minus attack. I'll do bold. So natures are going to be important because that's minus 10% to one stat and 10% to another. I'll use this right now. I'll probably go around Tinker with it a little bit later, but for right now, it'll be workable. Alright, let me go into... We got some tutorial stuff we still gotta do. Sort of. Keyword, sort of. Alright. But yeah, make sure you... If you have a Nintendo account, make sure you link your Pokemon Home stuff with it, because otherwise you're gonna have to re-download everything, and... Yeah, that's not going to be a fun time for you if not. Alright, battle tutorials. Let's start... We got double battles, we got Mega Evolution. So you can see Mega Evolution, Garchomp Bite, Beedrillite, Gyarados, Steelix, Hurricanite, Agronite, Manectite, and Abomasite. We got Move Priority, Physical Special, Status, all that stuff. So we'll start with double battles, just the 10,000 VP. That's easy enough. Basically, there's two Pokemon on the field. This is where stuff like Protect's really good, and there's other attacks that, like you see, got Primarina and Garchomp. Primarina is going to have Liquid Voice, so Hyper Voice will hit in there. So you can see he's got Hyper Voice and Sparkling Aria. Sparkling Aria would hit everyone, but also use Cure Burns. Hyper Voice will hit both of the targets in this case, but it'll do a little bit less damage than it normally would. But in this case, it means you can also double down on one Pokemon. I should hit Espeon in this case, the Snorlax is especially bulky. As you can see, you want me to select Garchomp. Rock Slide hits both Espeon and Snorlax here. Dazzling Gleam will also hit both of my Pokemon as well. Garchomp's weak to it because it's a very type move, he's a Dragon type. There's somewhere in the resources, I need to find it after this, but there's a resource somewhere for the whole type chart. I would highly recommend that anyone that doesn't know their types looks into it. As much as I would love to go ahead and give a rundown on every single type, it's a little bit much. Yeah, Moldark do less damage. I believe it's 70%. I believe it's 70 or 80% damage that would normally do. Unfortunately, Double Battle does not talk about stuff like Protect being necessary for certain moves. Like, for example, if Primarina wanted to use Sparkling Aria, and Garchomp had Protect there, you could go ahead and Protect, and then Garchomp could go there, or you could Primarina Protect, and Garchomp uses Earthquake. Primarina is now safe, and both opponents get hit. There's other stuff like moves that change based on what you're doing. So there's certain moves like Coaching, for instance, that can only, or Helping Hand that are doubles only. There's certain other abilities like Power Spot, though that's for Stonejourner, which I don't think is in the game. There's also certain other moves like Pollen Puff that change completely how they work, where if you use it on an ally in a double battle, your ally gets healed. Life Dew targets both teammates and the thing there, etc., etc. There's a couple examples. So unfortunately, you don't get that shown. It's one of those things of ideal. Let me do this Mega Evolution tutorial real quick, because I want all those stones. Unfortunately, Garchomp Bite's not that good. I want Garchomp Bite Z. Alright, we're Mega Evolving Charizard. So as you can see, Charizard is a Pokemon that's capable of Mega Evolution. It has a Charizardite. Most Pokemon do not have multiple. There's Absol, there's Charizard, there's Raichu, there's Mewtwo, who's not in the game. Lucario has 2 forms, only one of them's in the game, which is its base one. Garchomp only has its base one as well for right now. I'm not sure if there's any others that I'm thinking of that haven't got their Megas in the game that have multiple forms. There's a good few of them that have, at least those 6 I'm aware of. I'm trying to think if there's any others that I missed. At least those 6 have 2 forms. So something like Charizard, it's going to be really hard to predict if it's Charizard X or Y. In this case, it's going to be X, because we're going for Dragon Claw and it's physical. Just going to use one Mega Ring. And Charizard will now Mega Evolve into Mega Charizard X. Not all Mega Evolutions change type. Charizard does, where it becomes Fire Dragon as opposed to Fire Flying. Some of them, like Victory Bell, for example, stay the same. Victory Bell stays Dragon, or not Dragon, it stays Grass Poison. So they was like, in there. Ability can change, it's not always guaranteed. Aggron's the only one that loses a type, where it becomes a pure Steel type as opposed to thing there. And most Pokemon that Mega Evolve do change their ability. Gardevoir gets Pixelate. Charizard X gets Tough Claws. Charizard Y gets Drought. Blastoise gets Mega Launcher. Venusaur gets Thick Fat, which actually is really good on it because it means its Fire and Ice weaknesses are basically nullified. But there are a couple of them that do not change abilities. Phalanx technically doesn't because it can have Defiant going into Defiant. Mega Audino would have Healer, staying Healer. It really depends. But most of them do change abilities in some form. Like Heracross gets Skill Link, Aggron gets Filter, Manectric gets... does it get Intimidate? What does he have? I actually don't remember what ability he gets for his Mega. Oh, Abomasnow is the one that stays the same. It keeps Snow Warning. Which, interestingly enough, that does mean that if it was a Weather War type of situation, where, like, let's say Halo had a big Abomasnow for the sake of argument, right? Because you have Abomasnow, and you can Mega it. Let's say that you throw out a Snow Setter, and then I throw out Tyranitar to get rid of it instead of Hail, or Hail Sandstorm rather. You could just Mega Abomasnow and you'd have Snow Warning proc again. So you'd be back to Snow then. So there's some cute little quirks with that. Steelix gets Sand Force as opposed to Sturdy. It's very gimmicky. It's not that great, unfortunately. As much as Steelix is my favorite Pokemon, it is not that great with its ability. Gyarados gets Mold Breaker. It changes to Water Dark type. Beedrill gets adaptability. Garchomp loses a little bit of speed. Before some Pokemon lose stats. Give me a second. Sorry. I'll need to get momentarily. I just got notified that my stuff that I ordered came in. Medicine came in, so I gotta take care of that in a second. So we'll get momentarily, it won't be very long. But yeah, so we got a lot of abilities that change up on most Pokemon when they Mega. I will be right back, that said. I'm going to go take care of that medicine because I need to refrigerate that. And I'm not having it go bad on me. I'll be like 2 minutes. Halo, if you haven't already, I'd highly recommend doing the double battle tutorial in the Mega one. It's a good resource for you to get.
Yes, I am doing those tutorial battles.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So basically, one thing with Megas is you get 1 per battle, and all of them get plus 100 in their stat total, going everywhere, not necessarily everywhere, but it'll be spread everywhere except for HP. The only exception is Alakazam, who gets plus 90. Because it was power creep at the time. It was really strong. But outside of Alakazam, every Mega Pokemon has 100 extra base stat total. So a Pokemon that has like 580, for instance, now it's 680. It's usually put into one of their offensive stats and speed, with a little bit put into bulk, but not necessarily all of them. Like Steelix gets a bunch of points into special or defense, which like goes like 30 into air. Gets a little bit of special defense too. Then I get some attack. Whereas like Frostlass is entirely special defense or special attack, speed, and special defense with 10 points into special defense. Though there are some cases where a Pokemon generally will just get a bunch of stats. So like Mega Malamar, for instance, is a very weird stat spread for its Mega. We'll get like 10 points put into special attack on a physical attack or vice versa, which is sucks, but it happens. Move priority. Let's do this right here. That's what we talked about before earlier, stuff like Trick Room is negative, or Counter is negative, Mirror Coat is negative. Vacuum Wave, yeah. So the standard thing there, Lucario should be moving second because Alakazam's going to be faster than it, yeah. Now use Bullet Punch will be faster than it using Psychic, because Alakazam's faster. You can see Bullet Punch attack first. Very rudimentary, but something to note is that most priority moves outside of Extreme Speed, most of them are 40 base power. So it's gonna be stuff like Vacuum Wave is 40 base power special, fighting. Bullet Punch is 40 base power physical. Quick attack's 40 base power physical, extreme speed's 80 base power physical normal. But you get the point, like minus extreme speed, and I don't think there's any other instances where it's priority. Most of them are 40 base power. Ice Shard's 40 base power physical ice. Yeah, stuff like that. Physical, we talked about this a little bit earlier. So yeah, every move has physical, special, or status. You can see if it's physical. Physical uses attack, special attack is used by special. You can see physical, special, uses attack, uses special attack. This will do defense based on physical defense. This will do damage based on special defense. There are a couple exceptions, like special having Psy Shock, where it does damage using the opponent's defense stat as their defensive stat, using your special attack. And there's stuff like Shell Sidearm that could be either physical or special, depending on what your stat's higher. So Avalugg is the example here. He's got like 180, I believe, on his physical. 140, 180, somewhere around there. He's got a really high physical defense base. But he's very frail in comparison on special. So he's going to take nothing, but as soon as you do Dragon Pulse, it's going to get nuked. As you can see, for 2 hits, that only did 30%, which is not bad, but that's also a 120 attack. Same type bonus on Dragon Bolt. Now, that nukes Dragon Bolt. Dragon Bolt's not having a good day, he's not the bulkiest. Yeah, let me put Avalugg stats real quick. But yeah, this is where we use Dragon Pulse. You have 100 base special attacks, so it'll do decent. Stab bonus. But the more important part is this thing is very frail. Yeah, you have a 184 defense and a 46 special defense. I was going to say 50 special defense and 180 defense, but I was very close. Wait, that is something that is worth noting. There are some cases where Pokemon that is lower defensively or special defensively, like for example, Avalugg gets a lot more of a bonus by investing its special defense, where it gets effectively a lot more bulk specially, than investing in its physical defense. It's one of those things that... Halo, you're familiar with a logarithmic curve, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the way that stats work is it's in a logarithmic curve. For the most part. And that includes for both your offensive stats and your speed. For example, a Pokemon that's base 140 speed versus 142 speed, there's basically no difference. You're outspeeding everything. Whereas a Pokemon that has a base 40 defense versus base 50 is going to be way better at taking hits special. I mean, they're both going to get curb stomped, but there's a smaller chance for the one from 40 to live, essentially. That means if you put like one that has 50, like Avalugg in this case was 46 special defense, you plus a whole bunch of points into its special defense. You know, it's not going to be a 1-to-1, but it might be like, oh, now he's got the equivalent of having 80 special defense, as opposed to having, you know, going from 80 to 95 type of thing. Like, I don't think it'll be that quite per se, but, because I'm just tossing numbers out here, but you get what I mean. So, for example, if you were to use, like, Chansey that has 10 base defense, it's actually really worth investing into it, or sorry, it's 5 base defense, rather? Or no, it's a 10 base defense. I think it's 5. Let me double check. I don't have Peony as 5. Chansey still only has 5. Blissey gets 10 and Chansey gets 5 only. Let me double check on this. Want to make sure I got the information correct before I say it. Yes, 5 defense, 5 attack. So, with Chansey, you would want to go ahead and invest into your defense. You have so much HP, you 250 base HP, that you getting a lot isn't going to actually provide a ton percentage to your bulk. You want to be investing physically. Because that 5 base defense is going to be way better. Going from like 80 defense to like 120 defense is going to be a huge jump. Well, not necessarily 120, but like, let's say it's 80 flat, and it goes to like 110, right? That's still a really big jump, and that's going to allow you to survive hits that you normally wouldn't. Whereas investing in HP, people are going to be like, oh, you invest into HP. Nah. Chansey already is going to have so much HP to begin with that it's really good for HP tanking. You're going to get better physical bulk out of it, and your special bulk really isn't going to change much because you already have really good special defense, and you have a lot of HP. You'd be better off investing into physical defense if you had 32 points to spend. Obviously, you have another 32, which at that point you could go physical defense and HP, or you could go both defenses. Or if you want to do some weird stuff, maybe you put physical defense and special attack. I don't know. You got options. Now, this isn't applying to every Pokemon. There are some Pokemon that are extremely frail that you generally don't want to invest in. Like, Meowscarada is kind of frail, for instance. It can take some hits in some cases. Or, like, Weavile's another really good example. Weavile's kind of frail. And it's got a really bad defensive typing. Really good offensive, but bad defensively. Weavile, you're not going to bother putting defense points into, unless you're trying to do some really weird stuff with it. You're going attack and speed, because that's what Weavile's built to do. It's got really high attack, it's got really high speed. It's there to curb stomp people. Same thing like Sneasler, who's I think even frailer, if I remember right. Arcanine can use Will-O-Wisp to burn. The Gallade goes first, so you take a whole bunch of damage. You get KO'd here because you took 100 damage. Because the burn hits, that now means that you're taking half power damage. That close combat, that's 120 base power with stab bonus for 180. It's effectively a 90 base power move now. Which means, yeah, you can see, they take 1/16 of damage at the end of their turn. You can see it there, he loses in there. Doesn't inflict damage on there, but you see, he survives that. So now you survive that at half the damage that you would have taken. So we're talking about 50-ish. Allowing you to survive and go for that Flare Blitz. So you take the recoil, but you survive on one. I'm assuming it was very calculated on there and make sure you survive on one. And then Gallade dies to the burn. Paralysis halves speed. But it only has a 1 in 8 chance in this to actually paralyze, meaning that your opponent loses 1 in 8 turns, effectively. Confusion is a 1 in 3 chance to hit yourself. But if you hit yourself, you use a physical attack stat. It's also one of those reasons that if you're using a special attack, you probably want to use your physical lower. What else? Got non-contact. Here we go. Contact versus non-contact. Biggest thing to think about is basically the easiest way to boil it down is there are exceptions, obviously, but most physical moves are contact, and most special moves are not. There are a couple instances where they don't apply. Like, for example, Grass Knot is a special attack, but it makes contact. Same thing with Draining Kiss, being special and making contact. But most physical attacks are contact moves, is the easiest way to think about it. Because a lot of physical attacks, what it boils down to, are punching, kicking, etc. Bullet Seed's one of those that actually does not make contact, if I remember right, because you're physically spraying something. See, it was like Rock Blast. Because he's got a rough skin. So we lose a section of our HP every time we hit Population Bomb. So Population Bomb hits between 1 and 10 times, depending on accuracy checks. It's pretty good. But yeah, so every hit of a multi-strike attack, so if we use Fury Swipes, Population Bomb, Beat Up, etc., those would all trigger abilities like Rough Skin or Iron Barbs repeatedly. Now, Bullet Seed, they're going to show. This is another one that I was talking about before. This one does not make contact, but it is a multi-hit move. They'll hit between 2 and 5 times. At the end of the day, pretty simple. Again, most physical moves boil down to being physical, contact, special, non-contact. Again, there are exceptions. You can check your move to see if it makes contact or not. But if you want a basic rundown, physical, contact, punches, bites, kicks, etc., special is going to be using stuff like shooting fire, summoning comets from the sky, letting loose energy waves, etc. We're gonna get weather conditions. This one I was talking about before. This is what we were talking about Tyranitar. So there's 4 of them in the field. So yeah, rain is going to be there, so Basculegion is going to be powered up by using water moves here. Of course, if it had a fire move, it would not be. It'd be weakened. It's not going to get a fire move, but... Boom. Yes, we're going to change the weather. So we're going to do 50% bonus damage now, so... This wouldn't kill before. Use Rain Dance. It starts raining for 5 turns. If you get a Damp Rock, it would go to 8. You can see it gets power there. Swift Swim also activates. There's certain abilities that go into there. Stuff like Solar Power gives you extra power at the cost of HP at the end of Sun. Chlorophyll gives you speed in Sun. Swift Swim gives you speed in Rain. Rain Dish also activates, giving you a little bit of HP at the end of the turn. Ice Body heals you in Snow. Slush Rush heals, or gives you double speed in Snow. Sand Rush gives you speed in Sandstorm. And if you have a Pokemon that's not immune to it, it gives you immunity to Sandstorm damage. And Sand Force powers up moves in a Sandstorm. Powers up Rock, Steel, and Ground moves, specifically. As you see, this is actually KO now. Sun also has some unique stuff where it's got firepower up by 50%, water power down by 50%, basically the inverse of Rain. But again, Solar Beam, Solar Blade, always are powered up there. Weather Ball gets changed depending on the weather from 50 power to 100 power and changes to that type. Rain also has the added bonus of Hurricane Thunder bypass accuracy checks. Sun cuts those moves to 50% accuracy, though. That is something to note. Now we're going to go to terrains. Terrains are basically a secondary weather, in a sense. Grassy terrain weak to the power of Earthquake for a grounded Pokemon, and it goes ahead and uses, powers up Grass-type Pokemon, and it heals them. Any Pokemon that's grounded gets healed by, I think it's 1/16th at the end of the turn. Psychic terrain that we're about to use on Hatterene blocks priority. Any Pokemon that's on the ground is protected against priority, as the receiver of it specifically. So even if Hatterene is a flying Pokemon or it had Levitate, it would not be protected against Lucario's probable Bullet Punch that's about to come in. So yeah, it's the E-Speed, or E-Speed in this case. So yeah, E-Speed hits. In this case, it will not hit next turn. Now if Hatterene was a Pokemon with Levitate, or if it was a flying type, it would not be impacted. Psychic, now that it's a Psychic terrain, also gets a 50% power boost. You can see blocked for Psychic terrain. Kaboom. Gets nuked. Fairy terrain, or Misty terrain, blocks statuses and protects against, sorry, 30%, not 50%. Let me correct myself on that one. Used to be 50%. Fairy type moves are not impacted there. Instead, dragon moves are cut in half power on Misty Terrain, and you're immune to volatile status conditions, i.e. Confusion, Poison, Burn, Sleep, Freeze. Electric Terrain prevents sleep against anyone that's grounded, and boosts the power of electric moves. There's also a couple of different moves that interact with stuff there. Steel Roller can be used to get rid of any terrain and does massive damage in the process, but fails otherwise if it's not terrain. Rising Voltage gets powered up if it's on electric terrain, if the target gets grounded. Psychic gets Expanding Force. You hit both targets in a double battle with Expanding Force if you have Psychic terrain. And Grassy Terrain, as I said, basically just weakens the move of Earthquake by 50% power. Or maybe it's 30%, one of the two. It weakens Earthquake is my point. And it heals anyone that's grounded, as well as boosting grass moves. And it also makes Rototail more effective. You get +2 stages instead of just 1. Anyway, we're going through this. Cool, I got a new title. I did all the tutorial stuff. Doesn't really change much. I was hoping, can I click you do anything? I can, but I can touch your clef key and it doesn't do anything. I wanted to hear it jingle. Big sad. You can see we got actual quests up here too. That'll give you some free stuff. This really isn't gonna matter because we're ending pretty soon. But like if I had the premium one, I could get Electros along with Electrosite. And I get an icon for it. It's basically like DBD's Battle Pass. except for the fact it's every other. These are all new Pokemon that are available. Have any? Yep. There's remaining. So it's interesting. It probably means it's about 8 p.m. Eastern time is when it resets.
That's an interesting time to reset.
Warframe does the same thing actually. A lot of games do. That or at least it's not DBD where it resets at 11 a.m. That one's a weird one. Very random.
Very weird.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab another Pokemon. I got some extra tickets, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab myself an extra Pokemon or two, personally.
Okay.
And I'd like 20,000 VP. I would highly recommend you do as well, Halo. You have another option. Do I have any special Pokemon? I got something that's special. I got your title, I got something there. Mawile with a Great Ball. Glade, Machamp, Great Ball. Oh, I got a Paldean Tauros with a title. Oh, and I got a Abomasnow that has a fastball. So yeah, there'll be like Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls, etc. Those are all standard. Repeat Ball. So this Abomasnow right here has a special Pokeball. It's a fastball. That's gonna be a stuff like a Dream Ball, Cherish Ball, Fastball, maybe Dot Ball, Net Ball, Lure Ball, Beast Ball. Those are gonna be special balls. So you can see my boss one has it there, and the Tauros is a type here. This is a Blaze Breed Tauros. Some of them have different forms, just like the Hisuian forms. Number 4, Tauros has a Paldean form that has 3 different forms. He's got a Fighting one, Fire one, and Water one. Interestingly, Raging Bull actually turns it into a Fire type move here, so I actually wouldn't use Flare Blitz here unless I really wanted to. But probably wouldn't here. I could still use it. They're kind of cool though. That's a Psy Shield, Bash, Mega Horn, or Double Edge, Sap Sipper. Fortress is not bad. I might take Fortress here because he's a really good entry hazard setter. We won't cover that this stream though. I think we got enough on the plate to begin with. Machamp's pretty good. They got Close Combat, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Guts, Facade. Ooh. Gallade has a Mega Form. It's kind of tempting to pick that one. You got Sacred Sword, or you can, Close Combat you can use. Get Said Headbutt, or Cycle Cut. They're all wild as Mega Pokemon too. Before we do that, let's get your Pokemon first, because I can probably figure out on my own. You're gonna need the help more than me.
Do you have the list pulled up ready to write down what I have?
Yeah, I have a thing pulled up right now. I can notepad.
2 Cannon.
Interesting. Okay.
Venusaur.
Venusaur's not a bad one.
What the? Lycanroc?
Lycanroc? Okay. Is it, which form is it? Midday, Midnight, or Dusk?
Midnight.
Okay, we're gonna skip that one for sure. Midnight's the weakest form out of the 3.
Alright.
If it was Dusk, I'd say it'd be a good consideration, but... next one? Runarigus?
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. I didn't know he was in the game. Good to know. Next one.
King Gambit, and that's my special one with the title.
Ooh.
The Sociable.
King Gambit's a really cool. There's a good chance you might be picking that one as well. Next one.
Hydrapple.
Hydrapple's not bad. He's a little slow, but he's bulky, and he gives Regenerator, so he could be good too. Next one.
Oh god.
Basculegion?
Yeah.
Is it a giant fish? Is it a blue one or a red one?
It's red.
Okay, so it's the male one. That's good to know because they have different stats based on their gender. The female one's a special attacker, the male one's physical attacker. The male one's better.
Alright.
Next one.
I got another Slowking.
Another Galarian one?
Slowking.
Just standard?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next one? Hydreigon? Hydreigon?
Yeah.
Hydreigon?
Yeah.
It's like Einsphy, because you get Dino as well as Hydreigon. It's German, Ein, zwei, drei, 1, 2, 3. He's not bad, I will say. Do any of your Pokemon have a star on them by any chance? That is something to keep a lookout for because their icon will change. Again, you can't see on your end, but I can't see on your end, unfortunately. But like, I know none of my Pokemon here are shiny, but I have a special, like, I have a shiny Milotic that. So let's see a comparison to regular Milotic. Okay, none. We got after Hydreigon.
And then the last Pokemon is Vileplume.
Vileplume's not bad. But at that point, you take Venusaur over. You take 100%. You take King Gambit here. Not only do you get a cool title on it, which you can go into your settings for your Pokemon and equip, but also it's King Gambit. It's a really good Pokemon. Like, you are probably running some combination of Sucker Punch, Iron Head, Swords Dance, and then you've got a free slot for whatever you want. Intimidate into huge power, kind of funny with my Mawile. Rally is pretty good. My type's funny. Fortress might not be a bad pick. I'd have Body Press, and then I'd have like Spikes and Stealth Rock that I could set. That's a special Abomasnow. That Abomasnow is not bad, actually. I get the Mega for it. I already have. You know what? Screw it. I'm taking Abomasnow. Screw it. I get the ball for it. None of these Pokemon are particularly amazing. Hisuian Arcanine's kind of cool, I will say. But, like, I don't really need a Hisuian Arcanine. I already have one that's there, and it's got debatably a worse type. Fire Rock's weak to 2 things, Squad Weakness. Let's go into second. Since Altaria doesn't have its Mega Stone, because it wasn't available, one thing, I'm going to go pick up the Altaria Knight in the shop. What I want you to do is, I want you to make a team from your Pokemon. And pick which ones you want, give them items. Don't tell me which ones you're using. And I will... I will say, make sure you pick up Gardevoirite. I will say, go into the shop if you haven't already, pick up the Gardevoirite under the Mega Stone section.
Oh, wait. I already... Oopsie.
I really want Mega Frostlass. If I had Mega Frostlass available, I'd 100% use it. I love Frostlass. Skarmory's a good Pokemon too. I love that one. I do have a shiny one I could transfer in. From Gen 7. Maybe I should do that at some point. I got moves he doesn't have anymore, but... eh. I don't need the Raichu Knight. Get Drampa Knight. Drampite would not be bad. Drampa Knight would be bad. I don't have any of these ones that I need. Dragonite. Dragonite. I'm going to pick that for Dragonite myself. I'm going to need that. I recommend as well, if you don't already, pick up the Dragonite, because that Dragonite that you were given, if you got it from your mailbox, is special attacking, and Mega Dragonite's a special attacker. So I would recommend slapping either a White Herb or getting a thing on it. Mega Stone. Just as a heads up to you.
Okay.
Because that also meant you can actually start using it pretty much immediately. Like, it's got a decent enough moveset, I will say. Only change that you might debatably want to make is changing out the Draco Meteor for Dragon Pulse. That might be like one of the only changes I'd make personally. Draco Meteor is really good for nuking things. So it really depends if you think you want to nuke stuff, then switch out, or if you want to have some better sustain. Because Draco Meteor has the downside of your special attack goes down by 2 stages using it. So you get halved special attack after using it. It's really a hard hit, but then you get weakened after, essentially. Something to take into consideration is that most moves after base power 100 usually have some downside, whether it be low accuracy, recoil, stat drop. I'm trying to think what else is there. Usually something along those lines. Low accuracy, stat drop, sometimes both in some cases. Generally, there's some kind of negative to them. Make it more volatile. We got that. Let me go ahead and pull you out. I'm going to put you in. Nope, I did the thing again. My gut feels for that type of escape, but I'm like, nope, can't do that on this. Now, there is some cases where you might want 2 Pokemon that have Mega Stones on your team because you'll be picking 3 Pokemon. It just means you can't bring both of them in. So there is some upsides and downsides. Alternatively, you could just use regular items on them and your opponent wouldn't know. Again, up to you on that for decision purposes, but that's something you can do. I really want to get Megastar after. I know that gets close combat contrary. That's nasty. You can boost your defenses up instead of lowering them. God, I wish these Mega Stones were... Oh, no, I do have it already. I did thing again. I did buy it. I'm not crazy. Alright, we've got... I don't know, despite doing a 2-hour stream, we haven't even done any major battles yet. That's the funny part. To be fair, a lot of this is just getting into the basics of it. So, that kind of makes a lot of sense as to why.
Yeah. There's so much.
This. I would say, for your case, avoid using items like Choice Scarf for right now or Life Orb, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that can go well with it, but, like, the gimmick is that, like, Choice Scarf, you need to know about speed tiers, and it's a whole nother thing for later. And certain Pokemon work really well with Choice Scarf, but it means that you're limited to using one move, which means you generally want to be some kind of offensive thing. Unless you're using Trick, in which case you can Trick it over. I mean, something like Life Orb is good because you boost your damage by 30%, but there's some Pokemon where 30% really doesn't change much, admittedly. Also, I can add friends. You want my trainer ID? I need to find it. Give me 1 second. So I can get you, here's mine. Oh, we got my trainer here. Profile. It's a joke I can make here. I'm not going to. Really bad joke somewhere. I don't have any badges because I haven't done enough battles with Pokemon types. I'm gonna put Venusaur. I like Venusaur. I've always been a Venusaur kind of person. Oops. Profile. Trainer already hidden. I don't really care if I get sent it. It's whatever. I can check my trainer ID if I need to. I will DM it to you. So you should be able to...
Where do I go to, like, add?
Alright, so you should see the 3 little bars over to the right, next to your VP amount.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. Submenu, sorry. Not 3 little bars. Submenu, sorry. Next to style. Submenu. So we should be profile, achievements, friends.
Oh.
You're gonna tap friends, and then you can send a friend request, and you should be able to send my ID in. I can see receive requests, set requests, friend list, etc. Moving over that sent. right now though, I will say skip out on the music, skip out on the cosmetics. You want Pokemon. Once you start having a good, decent variety of Pokemon, you can go from there. Then you get box space over time, either by I think paying for it or also just doing stuff. Let's see.
I sent the final quest.
It did not send to me for some reason.
What?
Do me a favor, send me yours.
Where's my...
It'll be under, so you got same area, above friends, you got achievements profile, you'll find it under profile. And you'll see a thing that says trainer ID hidden, you can click it, and it'll allow you to copy it. Once you click, well, the big button says copy, but you click there, and then you can send it to me that way. Let me know when it's been sent to me. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I just got a thing from you. Never mind. Let me go ahead and turn that down and block you real quick. Just kidding.
What?
I know, it's a joke. I like the what from you, just the shock. No, for some reason it just took a moment to send. That's weird. Well, whatever.
No, let me just block you first. That way
I
you
know.
can't block me.
Crazy, I know. Oh, you got a cool looking Pokemon trainer. Okay, there should be a way to actually battle your friends in this. So I'm gonna go to battle.
Oh gosh.
Here we go, private battles. So you can create rooms.
I'm terrified.
You'll do okay. I'll go easy on you. I'll make a room.
Why?
Would you like to do singles or doubles?
Single, I guess.
Right, singles it is.
Yeah.
Alright, here's my room ID in the thing there. I'll also put it in the chat.
Wait, what?
There we go. I'll have to pinch for the moment until I get rid of it and then I'll unpin it. I was gonna say if I needed to go ahead and add you though, I would have gone ahead and shut the visibility off for the stream there just to make sure, because I don't care if other people get there. I'm sure you probably don't want random people adding you as a friend.
No, not really.
Yes, I would have gone ahead and... So yeah, I would have gone ahead and covered it if I needed to. Don't worry. But yeah, so there should be the room... So for your end, there should be the battles. It should be private battles. And then you're going to be looking for a room ID. Let me know when you're at that section.
Yeah.
Alright, so the code is 1600-7217. I do like that as opposed to some of the other ways that they've done it before, where it was like a 4-digit code, or with items, where it was like a Pokemon symbol. Alright, we're going to room 1. It really doesn't matter who's on what, so I'll just move myself into that one. Let's go ahead and use this team. I'll use this one specifically. Alright. I'm here. You take the other slot. Pick whatever team you have if you got multiple.
No, I have my number one.
Okay, I've made a second one technically. It's not too much different, but... I don't think I've actually gone ahead and changed my Altaria's moves at all. If I do bring it, I'm just realizing. So you're dealing with non-stab to worry about, I think. Okay, so you got Gardevoir, Corviknight, Alolan Ninetales, King Gambit, Azumarill, and Drampa. Yeah, King Gambit's a very spicy Pokemon. He's really good. Actually, did I give you a second King Gambit? Or did you the one? Either way.
What?
I'm just realizing, did I give you a second King Gambit, or did you just get... or you're using the one you just got?
I'm using the one I just got.
Okay, I thought so, but I was like, wait, I didn't give you two of them, did I? Because that was one of those true Pokemon that you really don't need multiple of. Let's start out with you. We'll go you, and then I think I'll go you.
have no idea what to pick.
Honestly, look at the typings I have if you need to. I can give you a rundown. So Azumarill is really good against 2 of my Pokemon. I have a major weakness to Ice, so if you have anything that has weakness thing there, I have 3 Pokemon that are weak to Ice, 2 of them being Quad weak. Rock type's not bad against my team as well. Half my team is weak to Rock. I do have 2 Pokemon that are weak to Fighting. So like Drampa wouldn't be a terrible pick, but you gotta acknowledge that you're slow. Corviknight might not be a bad pick in general, just because he's good defensively. Although a Ninetales isn't terrible either, because you have... Honestly, if you're gonna go a Ninetales, you could lead out with it. Oh, you have your thing selected. Please tell me you have Pokemon selected.
I selected a couple, but I didn't finish.
Worst case, if it comes down to it, depending on how many Pokemon you have... How many Pokemon do you have? We'll find out.
I do have 3 it randomly selected for me.
Alright, well, to be fair.
Okay.
As you can see, I had a different animation for mine, and you can see that I'm competitive, because you have Trace on yours. So this is where you can either make an attack, or you can switch out. I will say Milotic is specially defensive. So physical attackers can be better against it, but you can still try to hit it. Grass attacks and electric attacks can be good against it.
Physical attack? Is King Gambit?
Physical attacker, yeah.
Is physical.
Corviknight and King Gambit are both physical.
Alright. I'll probably just switch then.
No, mind, I picked before you did anything. I was picking Mirror Coat, so if you did toss a special attack, I would have reflected it and did damage back to you.
I'm very glad I decided to switch then.
Alright, so you got options on your end. I'm assuming you probably have like Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, Iron Head, something.
No. Kowtow Cleave, Aerial Ace, Reversal, Guillotine.
Guillotine's not bad. I will say, Guillotine, you have a 30% chance to just kill anything that's not a Ghost type. You could start throwing Guillotines and try to scare me. Otherwise, Kowtow Cleave's not terrible. Reversal and Aerial Ace, we definitely want to change on you, though.
Alright.
Now, you are physically bulky. Like, that is a max special attack Milotic going up against you. I don't know if you're specially defense invested. As you can see, that did a lot to me. Even with my leftovers recovery, you still did about half my HP in a hit. Solid 3-hit KO. This is one of those cases that, like, if you had Sucker Punch, you'd go for Kowtow Cleave here, and then next turn you'd Sucker Punch if you had it. Because I either have to swing at you and get KO'd. Now, normally, obviously, I would expect it. I'm going to give you thing here. Like, I'd recover here normally, obviously, but... I'm going to try to mimic that as best as we can, essentially. So just swing. I'm going to go for an Ice Beam that I know is going to be resisted. Mostly to try to mimic that.
Other than the
Kowtow Cleave is going to be your best attack against this thing right now. It's Stab, and... Again, this Ice Beam should not kill you. So... We're going to basically try to mimic it like you did have the Sucker Punch. Because what would have happened is you would have attacked before me, if I didn't... Assuming I didn't recover. And that would have taken up my Milotic. And also, I think it makes it more interesting, personally. So my Altari has a title.
Altari.
Allie the Shining Star. For anyone who doesn't know, Allie's a reference to the fact that there's a character named Lycia who is a Mega Altaria named Allie in the Oras games. You can switch. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm throwing a Fire Blast your way. If you have something that resists fire, that's not a bad idea. What do you have specifically on your team again? You said Gardevoir, King Gambit, and what was the other one? Corviknight? Gardevoir's the only one that might be able to take a hit from it, and even then, it's not gonna be... It's not Mega Gardevoir, so you're still gonna take a decent amount. Honestly, it might just be a bad idea to just sack King Gambit.
Dang.
Because you can take in Corviknight. Because I was gonna say, you could probably take in Corviknight for free next turn.
Oh.
Especially because you can see right here, I'm Mega Evolving. I'm no longer Dragon.
To pick a move, so it randomly picked for me.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
I'm Mega Evolving anyway. I'm now Dragon Fairy as opposed to Dragon Flying. Oh, I actually missed my Fire Blast.
Oh, whoa.
Honestly, your best attack
Not
here is
very
probably
effective.
just throwing out... So maybe you throw Guillotine. Honestly, it might not be a bad idea for me to throw Guillotine, because if I miss my Fire Blast again... Because I know in my instance, it's best to go for Fire Blast. Okay, I hit. But if I hadn't, you could have had a 30% chance to instantly kill Mega Altaria. Actually, no, it's more than, because I just say it's 85% on Fire Blast. But yeah, this is where you might consider throwing out Gardevoir, or you might consider Corviknight. Up to you on that one. Gardevoir is super effective if you use a Fairy-type move. I am not actually resistant to Fairy. I have Dragon Fairy, I am not resistant to it. Corviknight's not a bad pick also, but you know I have Fire Blast, so that would be very risky. Also, I can Pixelate, so you get the same ability I do. I don't have a normal move to use here, so I'm gonna have to just toss out a Dazzling Gleam. Do you have Mega Stone on your Gardevoir? Do you have your Gardevoir on there?
Oh.
Because if you did, you could have Mega Evolved. Also, yeah, you nuked me. You absolutely nuked me.
I did have it. I just forgot to click the Evolve button.
Yeah, there's a couple of Pokemon that you don't Mega Evolve immediately. Gardevoir is one that you generally try to Mega Evolve unless you got a really, really good ability.
Alright. Oh, wait. I accidentally picked the same move without even thinking about if it was good or not.
I'm no longer weak to Fairy, luckily. Gotta love Rhodian. So that's a guaranteed crit, by the way. So that will do the same amount of damage unless I get an attack boost. Moonblast actually would have been a really good pick here, I will say. Because Meowscarada is weak to Fairy if I had Overgrow. And even if I changed another type of move, it might... If I changed, like, Knockoff, I'd still be weak to it.
Do I switch here? I feel like my Gardevoir is just gonna die.
You could. If you think I'm gonna throw another Flower Trick, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing. If you think I'm gonna throw a Flower Trick, go to Corviknight. If you don't, sack it. Give Corviknight a free thing. Now, I will say, I think you beat me here regardless. I have 9 HP on my Meowscarada, and it's my last Pokemon. So I think you with Corviknight there actually hard counter me, because I don't really have anything good for Corviknight in terms of super effective hits. I would have had Fire Blast, but you nuked me. I did. It was in my best interest, too, because I either took out Gardevoir, and I know it's faster. I probably should have knocked off now that I'm thinking about it, because it would have been neutral, and if Corviknight came out, I could have gotten a slap off on it for powered up hit. So yeah, you realistically hit me with anything, I'm kind of cooked. I'm assuming you probably got either Drill Peck or Brave Bird. Yeah, I'm not doing anything to you. That's 3 hits of Triple Axle, and I only did a quarter of your HP. Yeah, Iron Head is a good move there. That's at least something.
I don't remember what music.
You want to end the room? I was going to say, we can do another one there, or we can go back and change up your moveset some.
How do I change the movesets?
You'll need to exit the room. So let's go do that.
Alright.
I'm also going to change my Altaria's moveset, so I actually have something useful. So you're going to go into the... Either into the box, select the Pokemon you want, and then train, or you can just go to the training section. I'm going to go to training, you can click Pokemon training, and then you'll be allowed to select which Pokemon you want. And you'll be able to see which Pokemon it is in the order that you received them, more or less. Not necessarily one-to-one, but... Let's see, so for example, I'm going to go Altaria here. And then you can tap commence training, and then it'll allow you to change up what your stuff is. Also, I'm realizing my Altaria had no stats in its EVs at all, and it still had his other nature. Whoops. What normal moves do I actually get? Because I probably don't need...
So for my King Gambit, what moves?
Yeah, that's probably my best case here. King Gambit, you're gonna probably want... You're gonna keep Iron Head, Swords Dance, and then Sucker Punch. And then you can either keep Kowtow Cleave, or you can switch it out for something else. I don't know what moves King Gambit gets in this game, because I don't have one. I can
my
look
King
up for you.
My King Gambit has Countdown Leave, Aerial Ace, Reversal, and Guillotine.
Guillotine's not bad. You could toss. I was gonna say you could swap out. Because I was gonna say yeah, Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, Iron Head, and then honestly, King Gambit. I think Guillotine's not bad. Because Guillotine means that if you have like leftovers or some other kind of item on him, that gives him some kind of sustain, like another Citrus Berry, like a Citrus Berry, Guillotine, or thing there. Guillotine is just you start throwing it out. Plus, you can give yourself Defiant as an ability. Defiant's going to be your best ability. Maybe Supreme Overlord. There's some cases where Supreme Overlord is really good. Supreme Overlord, every Pokemon that you have knocked out, barring King Gambit, is 10% extra base power to your moves. Defiant means that if you get any of your stats lowered, your attack doubles. So you could do something like a Chople Berry, you could do Lumberry, you got Black Glasses, you got leftovers that you can run. And what you'll probably want to do for nature is you'll probably want to go Adamant, or you could go something like plus defense minus special attack. Your speed is so low that you really are not going to care about having speed investment. As for EVs, I'd say you definitely want attack investment, and then it's up to you if you want defense, special defense, or HP. I'll go modest here. It's just my speed went from 90 to 100. Nice boost there.
Oh. I was gonna say for my 9 kills, you mentioned to change the ability from Snowball to something else.
No warning is what you're gonna want.
Alright.
I'll go modest for it now. If I need to change the nature to timid later, I can.
Do I need to change stuff with my Corviknight?
Corviknight? What does Corviknight have specifically? I don't know what he has outside of Iron Head, which is a staple.
Iron Head, Body Press. Oh wait, hold on, let me look.
Ooh, Iron Head Body Press is good.
Iron Defense and Roost.
That's actually a really solid set. You might swap out Iron Head for Brave Bird. That's like the one change I might make, but even then you don't have to. Like, that's a very serviceable Corviknight.
Alright. I shall leave my Corviknight alone.
Oh, I got 1000 VP just for doing a private battle. Nice. Which doesn't count for ranked battles, but... So cool. Casual battles are also nice too. I don't really care about ranked as much. But, yeah, whatever. You can see battle data as well. You got battle data is really interesting under the thing there, because you can see what Pokemon are being used and what their things are. You can see what all my friends are using, and but you can see Pokemon in general. Like, for instance, right now, Garchomp is the most used Pokemon. And you can select it, and you can see, okay, most Garchomps are running Earthquake. Good chunk of them, over half of them are running Outrage. About 45% running Stealth Rock. Good chunk of Rock Tomb, Scale Shot, Swords Dance, coverage generally. So that's another thing, too. Like, you've got Focus Sash on it being fairly common, 40%, or 41%. Scarf being 35%. And stuff like that. Raichu's actually third most used right now. Is it being used with X or Y? Basically just Y. That makes sense. You got No Guard Zap Cannon. That hurts to deal with. So that makes sense. It's gonna, yeah, Zap Cannon, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Volt Switch, Alluring Voice, Nasty Plot, Fake Out. Basically Zap Cannon, Focus Blast for the no misses. Makes sense. Where's Staraptor on the list? I can see Staraptor's number 5. Meowscar's number 4 right now for the most used. Yeah, Staraptor makes sense. 95.9% are using Mega Staraptor of the health items, and 99.1% are using Close Combat with 90.5 with Brave Bird and 90 for Roost. That's gonna be your bread and butter right there. Close Combat, Brave Bird, Roost, and then at that point you get a free move slot. 3% using Final Gambit though. Doing Scarf Final Gambit probably. Quick Attack. U-turn. Blaze kick's not too bad. Makes sense. You get coverage of steel types that you can't hit physically, so you get like golden go. What up there? You get, like golden go and I'll watch my Jakey with his face. Swampert's surprisingly common. Tron makes sense. Mimikyu's common there. Pelipper makes sense. It's a good range setter. Corviknight makes sense. Ninetales Alola's pretty common. Yeah, I was gonna say right here, the moveset that's the most commonly used one. Aurora Veil, Freeze Dry, Blizzard, Moonblast. That's probably what I'd recommend for your Ninetales. Alternatively, swap out Freeze Dry for Encore. And then you run a Light Clay.
Oh. Which ones?
Yeah, Timid makes sense. You're gonna Ninetales Alolan's gonna be running Aurora Veil, Blizzard, Moonblast, and then you have either Freeze Dry for water types, or you have Encore to lock your opponent into some stuff.
I already have Blizzard and Aurora, so I need to...
Moonblast, and then you either got Freeze Dry or Encore that you want. And then I'd say your Ninetales should be having a Light Clay. Because that 8 turns of Aurora Veil protecting you with like 70 or 80% defense in there is really solid. Like, it more than makes up for it. For you not having a held item, essentially.
And Freeze Dry was the last one?
Freeze Dry or Encore.
And what do those moves do?
Freeze Dry is a more accurate, weaker Blizzard, but it also is super effective against Water-type Pokemon. Encore gives the target the Encore status. Unfortunately, it's not really very good terminology. Here we go. So Encore gives you 2 turns of having to use the same move in a row. So if I were to start Dragon Dancing, let's say, and used Encore on me, I'd be locked into Dragon Dance, or I'd have to switch. That gives you time to set up against me, that gives you time to hit me, that gives you time to switch out and do whatever. You know, that might force me to make a switch, which means you get a free turn, essentially. So it's very good for anti-setup.
Okay.
So basically it boils down to, do you want to have some anti-setup, or do you want to have something to hit water types super effectively? And have something that's more accurate outside of Blizzard.
I made my decision and you will not know.
I was gonna say, don't tell me, I don't want to know. My end, what is there I want to make changes to? You've put items on your Pokemon before, right? You got items on all your Pokemon you put in your team?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought so. I want to
I
make sure.
have items on them. I just don't know if they're like, if I have them placed optimally.
To be fair, some of them are just experimentation, trial and error. Some of the stuff like the Mega Stones, like your Gardevoir having Mega Stones, a good call. But then there's other ones that are like, Focus Sash is going to be on a frail Pokemon. Like, I have it on my Meowscarada, for instance, because Meowscarada is very frail. It's really hard hitting, but it's very frail. So, like, I might actually want it on there because I don't have a lot of bulk. So I feel like Whimsicott would be a really good instance as well of using it. Because Whimsicott's very frail, it's a very supportive Pokemon. Because you've got stuff like Tailwind, Memento, Leech Seed, Substitute. Whole bunch of nasty stuff like that I can do. At priority. As a prankster. So you generally want to have some kind of survivability. So if you're using Substitute, you don't want to use a Focus Sash. You know what? Let's do... Let me change up your moves a little bit. I'll give you that, because that's going to be better. I like that over its other option. More consistency. Let's change that. I forgot you get this now. That's actually not bad. I will do that on you. Now, there are a couple Pokemon that you might want to get copies of if they have different abilities. Like Arcanine, for instance, if you want to use a Justified one that has some, like, weird double synergy. Or if you just don't want to have to go ahead. Because, like, some of the moves that you'll have, you don't use the same set as singles and doubles. Like, Earthquake isn't as common, for instance, in doubles. At least not without Protect for your ally. Because Earthquake hits everything on the field except for the user. Whereas in singles, that really doesn't matter. Like, you might see High Horsepower instead of Earthquake. 5 less power, single target, but doesn't risk your teammate getting hit. So, stuff like that. So there are a couple instances if you want to make, like, a doubles team as well. That might be the reason why. Alright, let me get back in. Let me get you a new room code.
I'll probably do one more battle and head out.
That's fair, that's fair. And then I'll probably do some just training team building, and then I'll probably do some battles on my end. Admittedly, I know there wasn't a lot of battles this end. Lots of the tutorial battles and also versus you, but to be fair, this is basically the setup phase of it on my end, so is what it is. If you need the code, you want me to tell you the code is, or do you need the thing?
I got it. I found it in... Yeah, I saw it in chat.
Yeah, I pinned it in chat to make sure. You know, let's go... This team. I want this one. What can I change style to? Oh, just that. Alrighty-o. Let's see what we got. Why do these two have the wrong items? My Whimsicott has leftovers and my Lodic has a Focus Sash instead of the opposite way around. That's awkward. Let's do that. Regardless of typing. To be fair, I'm not trying to go super hard versus you, so I'm just picking 3 Pokemon based on the vibes, on how I'm feeling, and going from there. If I was actually battling you seriously in ranked, I'd take it a little more serious with it. Actually look at your team and try to figure out what I want to use. Based on what your team comp is. Oh, that sucks for me. That really sucks for me.
Rip.
Because, you're a fairy type. Fairy's good against dark.
Oh.
I was going to switch to Arcanine, though. That was a given.
I picked an attack with your previous Pokemon in mind.
Fair enough. I mean, again, it's one of those things that you'll get used to battling over time. That just still did a lot of damage. That vacuum wave would have done numbers to me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I picked it. You switch. Oh.
Good for you.
Gardevoir, not a very good pick here.
Yeah, fire does resist fairy. It's not super effective against it, but it is resistant too. Your other attacks, Psychic's gonna be neutral, Fighting's neutral. I'm pure fire, so I'm weak to water, rock, and ground.
Oh.
Oh, that's bad for you.
That's bad for me. I thought fire would be weak to ice too. Wait, no, it's the other way around, isn't it? I'm stupid.
Fire resists ice and is weak to it. Oh, sorry, ice is weak to fire, and fire resists ice.
So...
Yeah, I threw a... You should be faster than me. Honestly, your best bet here is probably Aurora Veiling. I will not be mean and click Extreme Speed, I will say. I will be nice and not click Extreme Speed. Because again, this is still early time for you. I will let you get the free Aurora Veil up. Again, if this was an actual ranked one, there's an extreme speed coming your way immediately if there was.
This pain.
Considering tossing Wild Charge on him, but I'm like, that's 2 recoil moves. I'd have to change up my entire moveset if I wanted to do that. I'd have to swap out one of my current moves for Morning Sun. And then... I would say Defiant's probably the better pick as a whole, but Supreme Overlord still has its various uses.
Oh.
Because right now your power-up attacks have... Honestly, I'm going to say right now, your best idea is throwing Sucker Punch out. Because you know I'm not going to go for Extreme Speed, because you're a normal type. Or Steel type, rather. As you can see, that did a lot.
Oh.
If Gardevoir had been down, I think you would have KO'd me. Oh my god, that actually did everything there. So here's your thought process. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. It is going to be up to your gut instinct. You can either throw a Sucker Punch expecting me to attack you again, or you have to predict that I'm going to switch. I'm not telling you which one I'm doing.
Did
you make the...
No.
Alright, this is where you still have Iron Head, right? This is where Iron Head would actually be a really good pick for you.
Yes.
I cannot afford to Fire Punch you right now. Because if I do, Gardevoir comes out and outspeeds me, I'm in a bad position. So I have to Dragon Dance here. Now, your best bet here is to Sucker Punch. Because unless you think I'm going to go Dragon Dance again. I'm just going to tell you, though, I'm not. You know I'm low enough that I'd have to throw out an attack. Your best bet here is to Sucker Punch. Maybe you drop... Very close. 16 HP. I had 45. You did like 30 HP. Almost.
Oh.
I actually don't know if I'm faster than you are. You had Aurora Veil up too. That close combat actually would have one-shot you without Aurora Veil. Because it was quad super effective. Now you know honestly, your best bet here is honestly just Vacuum Waving. I'm gonna have to sack Tyranitar, unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately? Don't you have a type that's, like, very resistant to everything I do with?
Not necessarily. I don't have a type that's resistant to everything. I just have Arcanine, who's low.
I meant, like, everything I can do, because my Gardevoir isn't effective against that, is it?
You don't know what my last Pokemon is, but Whimsicott, I don't think resists everything you throw. I know it definitely doesn't resist Psychic or Fairy. Dragonite gets nuked by Fairy. Meowscarada gets nuked by Fairy.
I thought the one that was resistant to my Gardevoir was still alive because he switched it out. I forgot I killed it.
Ooh, I actually realized
yeah.
Yeah, he was very low. I was debating on bringing him out or bringing my last Pokemon out. This one might be a fumble on my end. Wow, that did a lot. Oh, that was a crit, that's why. I was expecting you to survive with like 40%. Okay, I died of Sandstorm.
Way.
Oh my god, that Sandstorm actually saved me right there. There's a chance I might have lost if I didn't have it. Because Extreme Speed's +2, Priority Vacuum Wave's +1. I just outspeed here. And you speed it and then you drop. I had 3 HP for context. 3. If Sandstorm was still up, I would have dropped to Sandstorm. And I don't know if Meowscarada outspeeds you. I think it does. I think it does, but I could be wrong. And even then, Vacuum Wave from you might have been able to actually kill me. I don't think Meowscarada survives a Vacuum Wave from Mega Gardevoir. Especially because I had a Choice Scarf one. So I was not confident I would have survived a hit from you. You gonna go one more, or are we gonna wrap things here for you?
I can't end it on a loss.
Alright, we gotta continue. But I'll say, if you want me to, I'd absolutely be game at some point later on for going ahead and teaching you more about how to battle. Can't promise I'm the best, but I can definitely offer you my services. I go this. Ooh, okay. Not the worst lead for me.
Oh. Yikes. Okay.
Ah! 85% twice. It's been twice that I missed Fire Blast. I was gonna say, what did it, I'm like multi-scale, right? Multi-scale. Because that would have done like 80 damage to me. That would have done like half my HP. I think multi-scale turns it into a 3-hit.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't have my resist anymore. Oh, that sucks. I was hoping I'd be able to at least chip you or something. 85% into an 85%. I wanted to prepare for in case of Sucker Punch. Oh no, that could have been very bad. Knowing my luck, I wouldn't have been surprised if that hit me. Honestly, that was a really good read on your end, I will say. Because it made sense for me to switch there, expecting a Sucker Punch. That guillotine was actually a really good predict on your end.
I was so sad how good you dodged.
Well, it's only 30% accuracy. You gotta remember, it is a one-tap if it hits.
Yeah.
I know this is risky because I'm Fairy type now, and I'm now weak to Iron Head, but I really want those extra stats. Oh my god, if I'd missed a third Fire Blast today. Oh, we did 2/3 your HP.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think this kills me now. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't think Altaria would have done enough. Maybe I hit you with Fire Blast and then Mega, but... Yeah, no. I was just in a really bad situation there. 2 misses in a row. This Pokemon for you. 2 15% misses in a row is utter pain. Ooh. That did more than I thought it would. Yeah, that was a good call on your end.
Oh.
I was expecting that I would have survived with like 30 to 40 HP. Going straight okay, you are. Damn, I should have gone for the Fire Blast then. I thought you were going to go for the game of... I didn't know if you were going to go... The thing is, I kind of had to throw the Extreme Speed on the hopes that you didn't go for Sucker Punch, or the hopes that you went for Sucker Punch, because you would have failed then. But, it's whatever. Again, that's luck for you. That was still fun, though.
That was horribly unlucky.
Yeah, I threw 3 Fire Blasts in 1 hit. That is
I didn't even have
rough.
to pull out my other Pokemon.
What did you bring as your
just...
curiosity as your other 2?
Oh gosh. Gardevoir and... Oh, what's the other one's name?
Describe to me.
It's a giant stone bird.
The bird, the iron bird, Corviknight.
Yes, thank you. I have no idea if that's like actually a good team comp or...
I mean, to be fair, both of us definitely have some issues to work on. For example, you have 3 Pokemon, I think, that are weak to fire, if I remember right. I actually consider bringing Arcanine. Because King Gambit, Corviknight, and Alola Ninetales are all weak to fire. So you do have a 50% fire weakness, but to be fair, I do have a couple weaknesses on my end, too. I'd say be careful of your team comp. Again, look into the type chart. I would highly recommend that. But it's also one of those things of, like, be aware that you are also only working with what you have at present. So, team comp is gonna be something of, Oh, I turned Growth into a Grass-type move, finally. It's a normal-type move for the longest time. Considering slapping in... I will.
Thank you for the Pokemon crash course, though. It was really fun.
As I said, let me know if you want to do some more in the future, even if it's off stream. I am more than willing to try and teach you with what I can. Again, will I have everything perfect? No. But we're also working with whatever we can in terms of our Pokemon. So, that's how it goes too.
Definitely happy to play again in the future.
And I love having more people to play with as well. I love Pokemon. I've been playing since the Gen 4 games, so...
I've been wanting to get into it for so long.
Actually, I was gonna say it's probably more than there. Actually, I'm realizing it's probably more than 10 to 15 years now that I'm realizing it. It's been a lot longer than that. Jeez. Because when was... When did this one come out? No, I don't want the remake, I want the original. I won't say which of the Gen 4 games was my first one because that'll date me in terms of my actual age. But yeah, I've definitely been playing for a good at least 15 years. All the Gen 4 games came out at least, well, like roughly 15 years, we'll say. Because I think that, I was going to say you had 2007, 2008, and then 2012 for the Gen 4 games. Like I say, so you're talking at least 14 years on my end. At least. Listen, I ain't perfect, but I'll teach you what I can. And I'm sure with you, I'll have to go, I'll try and at least teach you a little bit more about how, certain Pokemon work with, like, choice items, or try and get you a little bit more about team building and the type chart and whatnot. But... yeah, thank you again for popping by and allowing me to actually teach you some stuff. I had a really good time.
I also had a really good time.
Alright. My end, if you need anything, I'll be still playing for at least a little bit longer. I'm going to try and get 1 or 2 more Pokemon, and then I'm going to go ahead and... do some battles, 1 or 2 battles on stream against randoms. We'll go from there. Oh, what we got? I really wish I had Meowscarada. That's not that one. Alright, but yeah, you take care.
Okay. Thank you again.
Of course.
Hope the rest of the stream goes well. I'll be working for a bit. I'm gonna make dinner real quick first, and I'll be back permanently.
Do I go for Weavile here? I think Stealth Rock on him's funny, but kind of a bit of a waste, especially because of the fact of he's got Iron Fist, but you're not even really any moves that get boosted from Iron Fist. Also, why Gentle Nature? You're not using your special attack in the slightest in this setup. Okay. I think I might, on this one, realistically go for Fortress. It's like Weavile's tempting, but Fortress would be a really good setup Pokemon, and if I want to set up Pokemon, I can. I'm gonna take a VP ticket for that. We need to train him up a little bit, but we really need to change some stuff on him. But he's not bad. Like, Overcoat's not terrible on him. It's really better than Sturdy's not bad either. I think actually I will take Sturdy though for what I want to do with him because I get guaranteed hit off. Go ahead and switch. Ironhead was Explosion on the list. I'll put that to the... We get Impact Beaters. And then go for Explosion. It's Self-Destruct though. Explosive hits everything, so I keep it there. I want Explosion on my first slot, just because when I need to click it and go boom, I have the opportunity. We got Rocks. And then I think I go Spikes here, honestly. With my last attack, I can always toss Counter. It'd be really funny to see Counter Attack come back. I think I'm gonna go Body Press. Let's see something way better. Iron Defense would be really nice. Iron Defense Body Press with that would be really nice, but I'm kind of just trying to toss out. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, we want my defense to be nice and high as well. Sturdy. Gentle, we're going to want to go for Impish. Maybe Careful. And I think we realistically go for some... Hello, how are you? I think we go right here. We take off the speed, and I think we take off the attack. What does that look like? We get 182, we get 32 points of HP versus getting 211. That's in there. That would be really good though for Body Press. There's an argument to be made for that. I think I tossed the remaining two in here. Alternatively, I could take out Explosion and work with something else. Volt Switch is always an option. It's not the greatest, but there is the option. T-Spikes is always there too. Honestly, I think we'll keep, I think, these four for right now, and we'll rock it as we need to later on. So I want that defense nice and high, and I want that value for my special defense a lot more, so I can survive hits better. Otherwise, I would go HP. Let's go get one more, and then we'll do some random battles. We'll do a random battle or two. Out of screen, pick the quick coupons. But I'm okay with what I have for the... That's the wrong one. I'm okay with what I have for the most part. Again, I'm going into beginner stuff there. It's gonna be bots, it's gonna be stuff there. I also just need more Pokemon, and I don't fully have all my Pokemon over a transfer. So, there's that. Give me another one. What are we looking like? Laser, if you do want to do some Pokemon battles, though, feel free to let me know. I will get a room up if you would like to do so. What do we got? Noivern? I do like Noivern. Unfortunately, it's not great. I do love Noivern. It's kind of cool. Noivern's bulky. I wouldn't be using that setup for it, but I would be using something like Acid Armor and some Recovery. The Scald. Gyarados is not a bad pick. Gyarados actually might be a really solid pick. Gourgeist, which size is it? Large variety, not good. I would want the small variety or the super variety. Just has some. We're taking Gyarados here, 100%. Taking Gyarados for Pokemon Group. We'll save one ticket. So he has. I still think they should make a Mega Charizard, or not Mega Charizard. Mega Gyarados Z would be cool, where it's actually a special attacker. Gyarados gets so many good special attacks. Like, it's not even funny. You get Hurricane, Thunder, Hydro Pump. What else? Fire Blast, Flamethrower. Let's go D-Dance here. And what I want... Iron Head's not bad. Earthquake's pretty good on Gyarados. Do I want to keep Taunt, or do I want to swap it out with something? Do want to have more than 2 moves, honestly, for damage, but what I have coverage-wise? Actually, I have Outrage I could always do. I think I have Outrage. Ice Fang's always an option. Yeah, Outrage is an option. Crunch. Iron Head. You know, let's go Outrage. If I need to. What's in the bottom? If I need to, I can adjust the Pokemon later. But just early stuff, tossing it on. I think it'll be okay. Oh, no, Intimidate? I think I'll go Moxie here. Waterfall's pretty good. You don't want that. We'll go Jolly for the extra speed. And then we're gonna go instead of HP, because we're not trying to be bulky here. We're trying to be fast. Get some decent speed in here. We'll do this. Alright, let me go ahead and toss some quick Pokemon into my thing. What I want. Tyranitar, Dragonite. I will switch my Lodic out from this team. Gyarados. Some Sustain. Means Gyarados is going to be working with Berry. Beat that. Let's go that. I'm confident enough. I might get my behind hand B. I might not. We'll see. Considering I only got a handful of Pokemon to work with in a dream, we take it. Alright, let me get a room code up for you. Alright. Room code, room ID. Here you go. Do bear with me. I am a little bit rusty. I played for a while, but I will say I am a little bit rusty. So do bear with me, please. Oh, let's bring this team. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some of those battles at some point or another because I need an extra VP. Ooh, okay, so you definitely got some good meta stuff. Also, So that's Shining Archaludon. Let's see how it goes. I think given what my team has... Farigiraf, okay. Trick Room, that makes sense. Okay, so you're going there. That means... Probably got Archaludon then. Probably didn't bring Raichu. Could have Sableye. Could have that. We'll see. Ooh, I need more than... Gotta survive him low. Okay, at least Gyarados got a knockout. We take those. Teleporting makes sense. Tailwind, okay. Protect, that makes sense. Good call on your end. So that triggers, Trick Room's worn out. Probably faster than me now. Don't know if that would actually be enough, but I'll try. Quick Claw, damn. I will never know. Assuming, yeah, Hurricane. Hurricane or Weather Ball, Hurricane makes sense. Pelipper's base speed. He's not super fast, but that seems to be enough. I think I do this here. Okay, that I don't think mattered. That Tailwind's gone, that's nice. Raichu, okay. You bring Raichu. Here's the $1,000,000 question. Is that X or Y? It's probably Y. You've probably got Zap Cannon on there. No, it's X! That's surprising. The 3%. You know, I can respect it. Electric Surge? Alright, time to bust out the Mega on my end. Wanted to preserve the attack on him to ensure. Okay. Protect. Surprised no fake out. Now 4 HP, yeah. I think I just spam E-speed here until I lose. If I do. Even then I think Meowscarada cleans up. That's unlucky. 1 and 8. Ah. Drain Punch. I wouldn't have done too much. I've done like, what, 20? Yeah, I definitely just spam E-speed here until either I go down or he does. Again, I can respect the Raichu X, though. I was expecting Raichu Y. So many cases of it being used. Very unexpected. Yeah, GG. It was a good fight, though. I had a good time. You want to do another round? I'd definitely be up for another one if you'd be willing to. Just wish they gave you VP for it. For both of us. Yeah, that checks out. I was gonna say, the Raichu with the Protect there makes sense with double battles, yeah. Because I was like, I would have expected for a Fake Out, you would have probably gone that for singles then. As opposed to doubles. My end, I just threw whatever I had together. And tried to cobble something. I still got Pokemon I need to transfer in from home and everything. Still got like a couple of them in there. Like, I really want Frostlass at some point. Be really good. Yeah. You got dinner. You just missed it. We had a battle. Got my voice right there. We had a battle. It was I'll say, all things considered, it was a fairly decently close battle. Like, right where due. It was definitely close. I'm willing to call it close, at least. I'm getting distracted. Let's do this. Yep, let's get funky with it. Sableye, okay. Screen Sableye, okay. So it's got Light Clay then. 90%, oh, I was gonna say 90% miss chance, but no, that's a fairy type now. He's getting down next turn, so at this point I'm better off just hitting Play Rough again as opposed to knocking off the Light Clay. Pelipper, okay. Let's see what that item is. Quick Claw, right. Forgot about that. Whirlwind. Could be Raichu again, could be Archaludon. Withdraw, okay. Archaludon, okay, that makes sense. Stamina, damn. gonna be an electro shot potentially. Flash cannon, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna say I was fairy type. My best bet here, I'm gonna sack Tyranitar. Probably. I smell body press. I smell body press coming. Bright powder, 90%. Interesting. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just flicking damage. Let's see what the numbers look like. Oh! I won't complain about that. That gets rid of your defense boosts. That's what I was kind of worried about, admittedly. Should be Mega... we teleport down in 2 turns. Flex gone. Light Screen's about to wear off. That means... Teleport should drop, yep. Light Screen wears off. I will say that I did not expect our Chaladon's Shiny to look like that. It is actually pretty clean. Wow, that did more than I thought it would. I think I get nuked by Flash Cannon, though. I survived that? That must have been a low roll. That should have been a one-shot. That or Altaria has better bulk in its Mega than I remember. Which, if that's the case, I'm surprised. Well, I'll take it. Yeah, GG. I was a little worried there. I thought you were going to nuke me there, and I wasn't sure if Meowscarada was actually going to have the firepower to hit you. Now, I was Sash, so I might have been able to take a hit. I think I'm Sash on that one anyway. Let me check. I'm curious. Would I have been able to... I'm assuming... We're going to assume... Yeah, I am Sash on that one. So we're going to assume here that I probably would have hit... I don't know if you would have survived with the stamina boost at +1. You might have, depending on how much damage you took. I don't know. I think it would have been very hairy if that's the situation, because I would have had to go for Play Rough to get that neutral damage in. Maybe. Because the Triple Axle would have been way too risky. That's 3 stamina boosts. Switch up. So I think I will be retiring for the moment. I do actually have to wrap things up on my end, unfortunately. I apologize for only getting to do 2 battles. But it was fun. I definitely plan on coming back to this game in the future. I have a way to stream it, so... we take it. Yeah, same here. Plan for Saturdays, I'll probably end up playing this on Saturday if you want to pop by. At least partially on Saturday. So if you want to pop by again to do that, be my guest. I'd be more than willing to have some extra battles done, and hopefully I'll have a few extra Pokemon added in by that time, as well as some more VP. Actually do some extra stuff. But yeah, that's it. I will be wrapping up stream here. We're gonna go ahead, since it was gonna be Monster Hunter Day. We're gonna do Monster Hunter Wilds tomorrow, and then as I said, Saturday will probably be second day of Pokemon Champions then. With that said, take care, Halflings. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be seeing you all next stream. Bye-bye.